Good. There he is. There it is. Everybody can hear me now. Great. Hey, good morning, everybody. Again, welcome back. Beautiful Friday morning and a lot to discuss. This morning, as always. 513-873-7134. If you would like to share your thoughts, as I say, transform your brain waves into internet talk radio waves this morning. And let's get into it. 513-873-7134. Boom, I've hit my quota for the first minute of the show. And as I said, many things to discuss. Let's kick off the show with some news that you can actually use, right? Some stories to kick your morning off. If you live in the state of Ohio, this in particular will impact you. A COVID-19 update from Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. The governor wants Ohio bars to stop selling alcohol at 10 p.m. starting today. Okay. So what that means is you can still stay in the bar, but after 10 p.m., they're not going to serve you any more drinks. And as I understand it, you have an hour to finish any drinks that have been served to you prior to 10 p.m. at that establishment, at that particular place. If you're doing carry out, you can take some carry out drinks with you, but that's about it. And they're doing it because there's a lot of damn fools in Ohio that keep playing with COVID-19. And they think COVID-19 is a joke. I'll be honest with you, and this will lead and segue into what will probably be one of our primary topics today. I'll be honest with you. I don't have a lot of sympathy for grown folks when grown folks do dumb stuff and they end up costing them a leg or an eye or an arm or even their life. I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm one of those people that every July 4th, when you hear all the stories about the fireworks and the accidents that happen and somebody loses an eye or something like that, if it's children, I have sympathy. Okay. If it's grown folks, I don't have no sympathy for you. It's Darwinian. Okay. You're thinning out the herd for the rest of us. We all know that the earth is overpopulated. All you're doing is the rest of us a favor. If you're a grown person and you want to play with fire, okay, you want to put some kind of rocket into your rectum and put it on YouTube because you think it's going to be funny. It's going to be a prank. You go right ahead with that, homie. You go right ahead. But when you die or you nearly die, I don't have no sympathy for you whatsoever. Same thing with COVID-19. These folks out there, these businesses that didn't take COVID-19 seriously, you folks out there that like to party and you're spreading COVID-19 and now you're like, oh, we can't get drinks after 10 p.m. So what? I don't have no sympathy for you whatsoever. Big deal. And to all of the bar owners that haven't been taking it seriously, you haven't been enforcing social distancing, and when you got to shut down and you don't open no more, you got to get a new job. So what? I don't have no sympathy for you whatsoever. Now, to all the bar owners out there that have been doing the right thing and they've been social distancing and making sure they're following all the rules, they've been hypersensitive about COVID-19, I got sympathy for you. But all you folks that's part of the problem, I ain't got no sympathy for you whatsoever. None whatsoever. Doesn't bother me one bit. Which leads me to Herman Cain. We found out within the last 24 hours, really 36 hours, that Herman Cain died after being hospitalized with COVID-19. He was diagnosed 11 days after that picture right there was taken. Remember at the big Trump rally, him and those other black voices for Trump, they was dancing around to Michael Jackson. Remember that? Billie Jean. Now, it was all fun and games. Nobody had a mask on, playing games with their lives. I don't got no sympathy for you when I hear about things happening to you, even if it's extreme. What I'm supposed to do? I reserve my sympathy for the people that deserve it. And if you want to play games with COVID-19 and Herman Cain and all those good black and brown faces smiling right there for the camera, they're playing political games. The reason why they was not wearing a mask is because at that moment, Trump was anti-mask. Trump was running around talking about how wearing a mask is a Democrat plot and COVID-19 is a Democrat plot and he's not going to buy into the hype. Okay. But when your ass ends up in the hospital, because Herman Cain's like 70 plus years old, you got multiple complications, you got pre-existing health conditions. It is more food and water and air for us, homie. That's how I feel with it. It's like Drago. If he dies, he dies. It is what it is. That might be harsh, but it's a harsh world out there. And now we got a little bit more clean water and clean air. And I feel that way about anybody that's running around here, especially playing political games with COVID-19. If that's who you are, I ain't got no sympathy for you whatsoever. When you end up in the hospital or you end up dying, oh, that's harsh. And it's a cold, harsh world out there. You end up amputee with your amputated fingers. I don't care. Stop whining about it. Go do something. I don't want to hear about it. I reserve my sympathy for the people that deserve it. Okay. I reserve my sympathy for the people that absolutely deserve it. And that's why I have no sympathy for Herman Cain. I'll be honest with you. I was telling somebody offline, I like these stories. I like these stories when I hear about these whole, like, these flat earthers, right? The anti-COVID-19 people, the COVID-19 deniers. And then when a family member or themselves ends up with COVID-19 and it's like, oh, they do a complete 180. I love hearing those stories. And so what? I don't got no sympathy for you. Y'all can have sympathy. I don't have no sympathy for you whatsoever. 513-873-7134. Run around here, black voices for Trump, trying to convince black people to vote for Trump and that COVID-19 is not a reality and you don't have to wear a mask and all this other goobly glop nonsense. Yeah. Run around. Herman Cain was one of these folks that expressed support for Trump's campaign's decision not to require masks at the Independence Day celebration in Mount Rushmore. He was in favor of it. Well, this is what happens when you do dumb-ish. And it is what it is. And conservative media is running around here like, oh, there should be more sympathy for Herman Cain, Mr. 999. Well, hey, I don't know what to tell you. He should have been smarter than that. Simple as that. I feel the same way about anybody. You're going to go to a rally and there's thousands of people. You're going to sit in this stadium, thousands of people with no mask on, dancing around, and Michael Jackson. Well, this is what happens. What am I supposed to say? Let me see here. Okay, let me check that out. Somebody said change the title for today's show. Let me update that. Yes. Sorry about that. Appreciate you. 513-873-7134. Hopefully it just changed. Yeah. Appreciate that, Pat. See, that's people that care about you. I don't have no sympathy for you, homie. If you're asking me to have sympathy for these COVID-19 deniers, I just don't have it in me. I'm sorry. I just can't muster it up. I mean, what? I'm supposed to have sympathy for people that don't. So you don't care about your life, but I'm supposed to care about your life. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Pat. I see it. I'm going to change it right now. I appreciate it. Yeah. Appreciate that. Hold on one second. I got to change this real quick in real time. Hold on one second, family. Yeah. Give me 1 second. All right, cool. All right, we good. I just changed it, Pat. Thank you so much for the heads up. See, why ain't y'all telling me that? Pat got my back. I appreciate it. Maybe you didn't catch it. But back to Herman Cain. There might be some people out there that feel like, well, Nate, that's wrong for you to say that. He was a brother. He was a brother. He was a person. He was a human being. It's a lot of human beings out there doing dumb shit I ain't got no sympathy for. Y'all know me. I do this every year. July 4th, July 5th, that show. Oh, man, that's a big entertainment show for me. I love hearing about these stories of people that blow their arms off trying to be out here and do fireworks. You go right ahead and do all of that. You go right ahead and do all the dumb ish you want. You want to play with your life? Well, then when things go wrong, I'm not going to be weeping for you. I'm going to save my tears for the people that really need it. Also, I want to talk about this morning when violence against women is the teaser. When violence against women is the teaser. Look at this cover right here. How many people have ever watched the reality show Marriage Boot Camp? You ever watched that show before? I have, because you know I love the drama. You know I love it. Well, they got a new season coming up. They got new episodes coming up from that season. And apparently the new season of Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition is really, really explosive. They got like some big names on there, maybe some lesser known names, but basically they bring stars that's got problems, right? Relationship problems, and they work it all out in a reality television show setting. And, you know, they fake act like they're really trying to help people, and maybe they are, but really, you know, it's about that drama. Anybody like those reality television shows? Now, if you don't know, I haven't talked about it in a while. I love reality television shows. I'm about that life. I've watched many of them. I mean, from Flavor of Love to, you name the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I used to get into all of that stuff. I haven't watched it so much lately, but a little bit of drama is always good. That's how you get through COVID-19, right? Other people's drama. And I haven't been watching Marriage Boot Camp, and don't really plan on watching it even after this. But I did see the clip of what happened on Marriage Boot Camp, and I think it's worthy of some conversation here. People are talking about this, and there's a video that's circulating that shows a man choking up a woman, and the man in question and the woman in question are in a relationship, or maybe you might want to call it a situationship. Maybe that's what it's better called, right? And we're talking about Vado. He's a Harlem rapper. I don't know what his music is. I don't know none of his songs. I don't know if he got hips or not. Maybe it's some Vado fans out there. You can hit me to the game this morning. And Tahiri, she's on the right there on your screen. And she's been around. She used to date a dude named Joe Budden. Maybe you know the Joe Budden podcast. And she's been around the whole reality television circuit for a long time. You know what I'm saying? This is what she does, how she make her money. And say what you want about reality television shows, but there's a lot of them and people like them. And people like them because they deliver that drama. They deliver the kind of drama that people want. And, you know, there's a lot of criticisms happening right now. The criticism is being focused on this particular man, this rapper, Harlem rapper named Vado, and also to the other men that were in the room and their reaction or their non-reaction, and also to We TV, which is the media platform. People are saying things like, well, you know, how you going to use this as a teaser, right, to get people to watch the show? And basically it's an episode of this man putting his hands on this woman. Now, I don't know what Tahiri did or said. Something about throwing an apple at him or something. I mean, I got the audio for you and the video for you this morning, but I got a couple of questions. One, for women who have seen that video clip, I'd like to get your thoughts about it in general, but specifically, I'd like to know what you would expect for your man to do if he was one of the other men in the room. One of my female callers and listeners, should I say, female listeners, brought this to my attention. And it was kind of like, hold on one second. And it was kind of like, hold on, Pat's sending me something else. I got to check it out real quick. Yeah. I changed it. I changed it already, Pat. It should be up right now. The update should be in there. And it was kind of like, well, man, these other men were in the room and nobody flinched and nobody did anything. And as a man, I'm very sensitive to those kind of situations and conversations. Now, let me say this, okay? I don't believe that a man should put his hands on a woman. That's in general and in most cases. However, as a human being, I do believe, and some people might disagree with this. Tell me how you feel about it. I do agree in the concept of fighting words. There are some things that you can say to another human being who maybe didn't put their hands on you. And I'm talking about man to man here, not man to woman. So man to man, I do believe in fighting words. There are things that you can say to another man that will make that man want to do something to you physically. And maybe that's situationally, maybe it's, maybe your mother just died and somebody say something crazy about your mama. Or let's say one of your children just died and then somebody says something crazy about your children. I think a lot of people would understand in those kind of situations. So I do believe in the concept of fighting words, man to man. Now, there are some men out there that have no problem putting their hands on a woman. They look at a woman the same way they look at a man. I am not one of those individuals. You might be. I'm just saying, let's just clear the air and understand what we're talking about here. And I'm trying to figure out what she could have said that would have triggered him to do that in public. Like, here you are in front of other people. You're on this nationally televised reality television show, and you jump up and get all in your feelings and put your hands on this woman in front of everybody. Like it was nothing. And was ready to go to jail with it for it afterward. Like, hey, I guess I'm going to the county. Now, I guess in some parts that's called being a man, or you ain't gonna have that, or whatever. I mean, everybody's different. There's some men out there that get triggered. There's some women out there that get triggered. But I want to talk about this morning. Did you get a chance to see this clip? If not, I want to play it for you. Like, he got up and was like choking her up, and nobody did anything. It's like 3 or 4 couples there, men and women. Nobody moved until one of the hosts ran over and kind of pulled him off of her. And you can only speculate as to what's happening like behind closed doors. Like, if he's willing to do that in front of everybody, what is happening behind closed doors? And a part of me feels like I don't really care what she said. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a woman here. It's not like it's another man that could physically really threaten you. She's just talking. It's just words. I don't really care what she said. There's really no excuse for what I saw. But I want to get your thoughts about it. 513-873-7134. The Harlem rapper Vado went on Twitter and said, hey, wait until the whole story comes out and people will see why I was so upset or whatever. I mean, I get it. Maybe she threw an apple at him. Well, then what I would say is throw the apple back at her. But to get up and put your hands around her neck like you're going to choke her up, and what else you going to do to her, Vado? And then the way that she reacted afterward was like, it was sad because it seems like she was so used to it. You know what I'm saying? Did you see this? He was like, see, I told y'all he was crazy. And I'm like, why are you with this dude? Sad to say, there's some women that get into these cycles and they keep attracting the same kind of dude. Some men too. They get into a cycle, keep attracting the same kind of woman. But there's some women that get into cycles, maybe abuse early on, and it becomes normal for them. And man, I mean, there's a lot of stories about Tahiri. Okay, that's her name. And altercations that she's gotten into, allegations of ex-boyfriends putting their hands on her and things like that. So again, I wish her the best. That's a tough situation to be in. But ladies, I want to play this clip for you, and I want you to tell me, I mean, if you're in that situation with your husband or your man or your situationship, okay, which is par for the course for that particular show, what would you expect him to do? Like, if y'all having couples therapies, you and 4 other couples, right? Y'all cool, kind of friendly. The man jumps up in one of the couple relationships, starts choking her. Do you expect your man to jump up and save the day and protect her, or should he grab a pillow and hide behind it? Some of these dudes was like grabbing little pillow, clutching their babies, their woman a little closer. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But again, think about it and react. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear your thoughts this morning. I love to hear. Set the table with a few things, some stories to start your morning. But I want to know what you think. First, let's go to the chop shop. Tracy writes, hi. Good morning, Tracy. Ray writes, grand risings all. Grand risings to you, Ray. Good morning. Good to see you. Jared writes, good morning. Hashtag team and I. Good morning to you, Jared. Can you believe that tomorrow is the first day in August? We've been dealing with this COVID-19, March, April, May, June, July. What is it, 5 months now? Brent's in the house. He writes, good morning, family. Same to you. Mrs. Love Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful smart choppers. Good morning to you. Brenda writes, happy Friday. Mason Marler writes, morning, Nate and the choppers. Hashtag powerfully authentic. Hashtag one man, one flow, one profile. Hashtag Herman Cain was a MAGA soldier. Hashtag free Amadeus, Polly Wolf, Joe Dieters, wigs for Gilligan's. That's a mouthful. Free Amadeus, Polly Wolf, Joe Dieters, wigs for Gilligan's. Hashtag free drop Herman Cain eulogy. What? Hashtag, pardon me, free Dr. Fauci. That's a mouthful right there. He took shots at everybody on that one. Kelly Rice, good morning. Good morning to you. Pat Rice, good morning. Sharp writes, good TGIF, Nate and the Choppers. It is. Happy Friday to you. If you're going out tonight and you don't know it, the governor is recommending that the State Liquor Bureau pass a new, I guess it'd be a temporary regulation that would close down alcohol, not consumption, but it would close down the ability, stop the ability. It would put a timestamp, shall I put it that way, on bars throughout the state of Ohio in terms of selling alcohol. They're saying at 10 p.m., no more alcohol for you. And just like Herman Cain, I don't got no sympathy for you alcoholics, for you socialites. You are part of the problem when it comes to COVID-19. So now your fun is being shut down. And Mike DeWine, Governor DeWine, is still playing games with grown folks. He needs to just make a strong decision, come down heavy-handed, and that be it. But you can tell he doesn't really want to shut down the bars completely. And I understand he's got multiple things to think about, but Ohioans are incorrigible. You can't convince some of these Ohioans to do what's best for themselves. And unless the government comes in and makes a strong decision, right, then these Ohioans, our brothers and sisters, our fellow Ohioans, are going to do what they want to do. So I don't have no sympathy for you. And if you want to get your alcoholism on tonight, you can still get your alcoholism on tonight. You can still go get you a bottle early and go home. You can get you a bottle and go home. How about that? Instead of being out in the bars in Ohio spreading COVID-19. Just get a bottle or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 and go home like everybody else does. But no, during a pandemic, you want to go out like it's not a pandemic. You don't want to wear a mask. You want to share bottles in the club. I don't have no sympathy for you, so it is what it is. And for all the bar owners, the not responsible bar owners, it's your fault. Much like Herman Cain, I ain't got no sympathy for him. If you're just tuning in, I got no sympathy because he was a soldier for Trump. He was playing politics, trying to convince black people to vote for Trump, running around at these rallies with no mask on, people dancing around to Michael Jackson. He went from dancing for Trump to people potentially dancing at his funeral. Is that harsh? Let me know. 513-873-7134. When I'm supposed to cry and lie to you, it is what it is. This is what happens when you catch COVID-19 and you might have some other pre-existing complications or pre-existing issues. It's the reason why you should be social distancing and masking up. It's simple. It's easy to do. If Herman Cain died because of these complications, who does he have to blame other than himself? No one but himself. Look at that image right there in the bottom of the screen. That's Herman Cain at the Trump rally. No mask on. Look at all the black folks around him. No mask on. The reason why they're not wearing a mask is because they was playing the political games of the president. At that particular time, Donald Trump, before he had his epiphany, right? He was running around talking about how this COVID-19 thing's going to go away. It's no big deal. Oh, the Democrats are trying to make it more than it really is. Oh, it's China's fault. It's a China virus. Oh, it's going to go away. Oh, you'll see. Oh, we're the best in the world. Oh, and you want to play his game and put your life at risk? Then so what, homie? I'll say it again. More clean air, clean water for the rest of us. We deserve it because we have sense. You know what I'm saying? Reserve the clean air and water for human beings that's got some damn sense. Simple as that. There's no sympathy zone for Gilligans out here. You talking about the Gilligan of the week. You think for 1 second that I'm not going to wear a mask because of the president? I wouldn't do that for my mama. I'm definitely not going to do it for the president. Trying to curry favor with Donald Trump. This is what it gets you. Look at it. This is what it gets, trying to curry favor. Because if they wore a mask at that particular time, that would have been perceived by Donald Trump as going against the will of the president. I'm going to put up on the screen. I mean, it was him and a lot of other folks dancing around a Billie Jean. Not mine. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not laughing. I don't think it's funny, but I just don't have no sympathy. But what are you? You have sympathy for Herman Cain this morning? 513-873-7134. Cain, Herman, and anybody else that's running around here doing some dumb ish. You know, you have to find the sympathy with the Black Voices for Trump. They've got sympathy for you. I do not. What about you? 513-873-7134. All right, I got it out there. Tracy writes, none of this matters if the establishment is still allowed to be open. People will still sit and do their business with no mask. Hashtag shutdown. Tracy's so right. There is a high percentage of human beings that are incorrigible. They can't even be convinced to do what's in their, to do things that are in their own best interest. I'm telling you, folks, we are seeing a glimpse into the apocalypse. Human beings are going to cause the apocalypse. It'll be human beings that F it all up for the rest of us. I guarantee you. It'll be human beings out there. Right? If there was an asteroid that was hurtling through space, like one of these like dinosaur level apocalyptic, you know, from the movies, there will be human beings on this planet like, no, it's not. They be comet deniers. There's always going to be an element of human beings. No, if you believe in the Bible stories, Noah Ark, when it started raining, there were human beings like, oh, it's going to stop. Nah, we've seen it like this before. 40 days later, they all drowned. There's an element of Ohioans that are just going to do their own thing no matter what. Unless the government cracks down on them and forces them to do it, they're just not going to do it. You can't ask them, all that pretty please, can you please wear a mask? There's just an element of our fellow citizens that are just not going to do it. It is what it is. They are the problem with our society. They are the problem. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Ray writes, not fireworks in the rectum. Ray, I don't bring that up just from grabbing it out of air. There's actually multiple YouTube videos of these white people. You know, white folks do the craziest things. White dudes, college age, right? Run around doing these kind of pranks. I don't got no sympathy for you. Hey, I wonder what will happen if I hold 15 bottle rockets in my hand. Yeah, light the fuse. So when your hand is amputated, I'm supposed to cry for you? No, homie. Tracy writes, if you're in your 70s running around without a mask on, it's on you, and that's why we're choppers. It's on you. Herman Cain is 74 years old, and he decided to go to a Trump rally with no mask on, surrounded with people with no mask on, dancing around the Billie Jean. Hey, bud.
Dada.
Yeah. Say good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I just have blueberries, pineapples, and strawberries.
Good. All organic, right? Yeah. Yes, that's right. That's my son. Got to make sure he's building his immune system. That's one thing you can do to get ready for the upcoming school year, should I say. But back to the flows here. Like I said, you know, am I harsh? I don't think so. Not at all. Mrs. Love being black writes, right, I haven't been in no bar since COVID-19. Buy liquor, stay home, then you can drink as late as you want. Right. You're right. Listen, man, the Chinese, the Russians, the North Koreans, the Martians, all of these, enemies of the state, so to speak, they ain't got a whole lot to worry about because Americans is soft as hell. We are super soft. We can't even deal with being in your own house for 5 months. If the aliens want to take over Earth, man, they can push us over like a feather. We are super easy. Because some of us can't even, it's your home. It's your house. You decorated it. All the stuff in your home is stuff that you want, that you can't even be in the house for 6 months without wanting to commit suicide. The hell is wrong with us? We have lost our way. I'm telling you, I only have one testicle left. I can't do it, homie. I need this one for sperm production. I put one on eBay many years ago because I noticed that men in America have just lost their way. Stop eating soy. Start working out. I don't know what it is. The Russians could take us over like that. The Martians could take us over just like that. All they got to do is, I don't know, do what they're doing right now. And 30 to 40% of the American population would fall over on their knees in a second. We can't handle it. We can't handle even a little bit of pressure. Oh, I can't watch the NBA. Oh, I mean, you got people paying for cardboard cutouts to sit in the stands at baseball games. You got people running around here like, I can't watch baseball. You can't watch baseball? When is the football season going to return? Oh, dear Lordy. We are soft and flabby. We are ripe for takeover in this country. we can't even do what's in our own best interest. What kind of defense are we? Many of us are obese, morbidly obese. I mean, when the ish hits the fan, we ain't prepared. You ain't prepared. We're not prepared for that. We have been lulled into a slumber in this country, physically, emotionally, mentally. I'm telling you, we are weak. And I'm speaking generally speaking. Oh, I can't go to the bar. What am I going to do? It's a Friday night. Go read a damn book. Go do some sit-ups and some squats. Go think about the next big idea. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Oh, I'm just so in my own house. It's like a prison. It's nothing like a prison. It's your home. If your home doesn't satisfy you or you're bored by what's in your home, then you got some things to maybe redecorate, buy some plants. You know what I'm saying? Do something. But stop the whining. I'm tired of hearing it. I don't want to wear a mask. I want to go to the bar. I want to go to the baseball game, watch my favorite team lose. Oh, my gosh. Telling you, the Russians, the Chinese, the North Koreans, and whoever these imaginary or real adversaries of America, the United States is, the Martians, the Plutonians, the whoever they are, they ain't got nothing to worry about from us because we's not ready. We's not ready at all. We can't even take a little bit of creature discomfort, just a little bit. You know, like wear a mask. I got family members belly aching about wearing a mask. It makes my face itchy. Okay. Isn't that better than the alternative? Look at Herman Cain. It's just something to think about, family. 513-873-7134. I'm not here to tell you I got all the answers. I am here to tell you I've got a lot of concerns. A lot of concerns. Let's take our first break. We'll come back and take your phone calls. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, the last honest place in Cincinnati media, and we'll be right back.
Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson. Former President Barack Obama used his eulogy for the late Congressman John Lewis to outline a new plan for voting reform. Lewis was an advocate of voting rights. Ebony magazine, which has been in circulation for more than 50 years, was recently forced into a Chapter 7 bankruptcy filing. According to published reports, multiple creditors said Ebony Media has not been paying its debts as they become due. Byron Allen's Entertainment Studios has signed a distribution deal to bring the Weather Channel and its 7 other networks to the new Evoca over-the-air live TV platform. Financial terms weren't disclosed. And it's now easier for employers to fire workers who speak up about discrimination. The National Labor Relations Board has relaxed a rule that protected workers. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
This is Zoe Wesson. There are a few times in life to make history. Hamilton County was founded 230 years ago, but has never elected a black county treasurer. It's time for change. Elect a proven, trusted, experienced candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, Charlie Winburn. We know Charlie, and he knows us. Charlie Winburn was the former chairman of the Jobs and Growth Committee on Cincinnati City Council under the Honorable Democrat Mayor Mark Mallory. Winburn led the fight to keep 2,000 U.S. postal jobs in Cincinnati. He also fought for wage increases for thousands of city employees, especially our sanitation workers. Charlie Winburn will safeguard more than $1.4 billion in real estate taxes and will increase new home ownership and new jobs. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. Let's make history together.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent. You're listening to The Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back. On today's show, talking about numerous things, always talking current events from the Cincinnati perspective, the Ohio perspective, the black perspective. But in particular, I want to get your thoughts on two issues. One, when violence against women is the teaser. Is anybody a fan of, do you watch the show Marriage Boot Camp? I must admit, I've seen a few episodes over the years. It's not like my number one A1 go-to reality show. And really, when I thought about it, preparing for today's flows, I really haven't been watching too much reality television at all, quite honestly. I've been watching like real television, right? The news and what's going on. That's watching these folks and this coronavirus, man, has been like its own reality television show. So let me give you some stories to start your morning. A COVID-19 update from our Ohio Governor, Mike DeWine. And look at that face he's making right there. That's the face I have every time I hear him speak. The governor of Ohio wants bars to stop selling alcohol at 10 p.m. Bar owners are in the media this morning, like renowned Cincinnati mixologist Molly Wellman. She had a nice little bar over in Walnut Hills. Used to go over there quite a bit. But anyway, she's saying, it's a shame, essentially. And then if you're a bar owner, I can understand how that's going to impact you. People like to go out and socialize and have their drinks. I get it. But we'll see if the Ohio Liquor Control Commission decides to cut off late night alcohol sales. Let me go over to the Columbus Dispatch while we're on the air and see if I can give you some updates on this. Perhaps, as I understand, they're going to meet this morning. Matter of fact, there are no updates. They're going to meet this morning starting at 9 a.m. And that's the Ohio Liquor Control Commission. And we'll see if they decide to do what the governor wants, and that's to cut off alcohol sales at all liquor permitted establishments after 10 p.m. Now, customers buying a meal will still be allowed to get 3 carryout drinks instead of 2. Quote, this rule will prevent the sale of alcohol at all liquor permitted establishments beginning at 10 p.m. each night, starting tonight. Right? Now, if you're in the bar, what they're saying is that if you get served like at 9:55, you can still sit at the table, but you got to consume all the alcohol and it must be done by 11. Now, clearly this is designed to force people to stop going to the bars. Mike DeWine in many of his recent updates said that the bars is where COVID-19 is spreading, right? People going out, they don't have a mask on, they pull the mask down, they want to drink. And I'll be honest with you, I've never been a big drinker. That's not my thing. I love to socialize, but I'm struggling to understand why this is so important to some people. This seems to me to be like a minor creature comfort. But again, some people live for the weekend. I get it. Thursday is the new Friday and Wednesday is the new Thursday, right? Which means that every day is a party night. I get it. If you got that kind of lifestyle, you set yourself up to do those kind of things. That's how you like to date, mate, and relate. I'm with that. I understand, but it's a damn pandemic. You can't chill. And, if you're somebody belly aching about this, like, I was going to the bar tonight, I blame you. You are part of the problem. So what? I'm waiting for Mike DeWine to shut everything down again. That's what's going to happen because of incorrigible Ohioans. You can't even be encouraged to do the right thing for yourself, the right thing for your family, the right thing for the community. This is the 30% of the population that brings our society down. You're the real problem. You're the problem. I blame you. It's your fault. It's your fault. That's who I blame. I blame you. So again, I've got no sympathy for you folks because you can always go buy your liquor and go home like responsible drinkers do. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people get all liquored up, don't even know where they are, and get in the back of a ride share like a Lyft or an Uber. Who does that? Irresponsible people do this. Irresponsible people. You're already irresponsible. Stumbling out of a bar and call an Uber. For Jack? Are you for Jack? No. You said Jack? No, Tony. It says you're the Uber for Tony. Did you say Jack? I've seen this all before. People so drunk, they don't even know what they're doing or where they're going. They collapse into the ride share. Don't even, barely conscious, right? This is what you want to do on a Friday night? I don't got no sympathy for you. I would not be upset one bit if the governor shuts it down like he did before and then put law enforcement at major intersections with checkpoints, because that's what it's going to take for some people. Some people like Herman Cain and all these Republicans, right? These black voice for Trump running around trying to kiss Trump's tail. And then when you get COVID-19, we supposed to send you flowers? I'm going to reserve my money, homie. Sorry about that. No sympathy whatsoever. No sympathy whatsoever. Look at this fool. Look at not that. Look at this fool down here. Dancing around. Billie Jean. Remember the little dude? He had a little "Make America Great" hat on again. Remember that? "Make America Great," the red hat. He's dancing around Billie Jean. Mm-hmm. He ain't dancing no more, is he? That's because COVID-19 is real, family. It's not a game out there. You know, you can get it, and it can take you out the game. You really want to die and leave this world and all the great things that you get from being alive because you went to a Trump rally? Well, if you do, so what? All right, let's go to the phones and say good morning and welcome in my first caller. Good morning and welcome to the show. You still there? Well, call me back. I thought we had somebody on the line. Call me back. 513-873-7134. Maybe they stepped away from the phone. I'm not really sure. Let me see what the Chop Shop has to say. Very smart, intelligent people. Clue Magic writes, Grand Risings, Nathan the Choppers. Don't let the silliness of Kane distract you from the fact that our economy had the worst second quarter in history last week. Always on point. Cassandra writes, hey, Chappers, slept like a lion. Okay, we're getting a call back here. Let me see what's going on. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey.
Hey, how you doing? Drop.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you before if you were saying anything.
Okay, well, you know who this is. And for anybody who don't know, this is the Nathan Ivey Show, West Side Connection, Drop Squad 52, calling in from California.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Mr. Ivey, I will say one thing, sir. You are consistent because your monologue this morning about the passing of Herman Cain, another black man, a strong black man, a black man who came from nothing to something, a black man who served his country, a black man who was one of the first CEOs of a major food franchise. Mr. Ivey, all I can say, sir, you are consistent because your brother went to the hospital in the early days of this COVID-19, and you pretty much said the same thing about your own family, that if they died from COVID-19 because of their stupidity, as you put it, you had no compassion for them. So, again, rest in peace, Herman Cain. And I'm not surprised that you have no compassion for your fellow man, Mr. Ivey, because it's not like Herman Cain was a serial killer or anything. But anyway, the reason I called, sir, did you happen to catch any of the funeral of the great civil rights icon, John Lewis, yesterday, sir? I
caught bits and pieces of ex-President Barack Obama delivering his words.
Okay. I usually don't correct you, but he's not an ex-president. He is the former president.
Former president.
Of the United States.
Former president, correct.
And he's, yes, and he is the actual real first black president.
Yes,
but there's a lot of, yes, he is. There's a lot of coverage about his eulogy, also disguised as a Democrat Party fundraising speech. And Barack Obama, the Magic Negro, is back, Mr. Ivey. He is back, and it looks like he's lost a step, sir, because without his teleprompter, because I guess they didn't have one available, he was reading from the text on a piece of paper or a laptop that was on the podium, and it just messes up his flow. Did you notice that too?
No, I didn't notice it at all. No.
Yeah, his flow was because when you had that teleprompter, your eyes are always up, looking at the screen or the little panels of the teleprompter. So therefore, the camera, when it shows you, it looks like you're looking at the audience.
Right.
And you're connecting with them. Right. So by him looking down at the paper, the prepared speech, not off the top. A prepared speech.
It should have been a prepared speech, though.
And but Mr. Ivey, I've seen Barack Obama give a speech without a teleprompter and without a prepared speech.
Yeah, but not in a moment like that, though, Drop. I mean, come on now. In a moment like that where you're delivering a eulogy.
Nancy Pelosi didn't have written notes.
We're not talking about Nancy Pelosi. We're talking about Barack Obama. Heart. It makes sense to be concise so you don't meander too much and stay on point.
See, Mr. Ivey, you just said, I'm not going to let you get away with it.
Don't let me.
Today. You just said nobody does it without a prepared speech. And I just told you Nancy Pelosi didn't have a prepared speech.
Okay.
So my whole point, Mr. Ivey.
Right.
My whole point, sir, is that he looks like he's lost a step. Maybe it's because he didn't have a teleprompter there. But
I didn't pick up on that.
The reason I called...
Can you give me some examples of when he lost his step? Are you saying that it wasn't a smooth transition? Or what exactly do you mean when you say he lost a step?
Okay, my perfect example is when he's on the campaign trail. When he's speaking in front of donors or a large crowd, a rally. Well, you know some of his famous lines, don't boo, vote. I mean, he has appeared in front of crowds or audiences before where he's spoken from his heart. And it's usually at rallies or at a fundraiser. But when he does certain events like this, everything is prepared and he usually has his teleprompter with him. But
I think you're trying too hard to find a reason to criticize him. That's what I think. I think you're just searching for something negative to talk about when it comes to him.
I don't understand why you feel the need to defend him.
Well, I'm not defending him. I just
calling him the ex-president.
Yeah, thank you for the correction. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that I just didn't hear any of that, and even your explanation seems paper thin to me. So it sounds like you're just searching for a reason to criticize him. That's just my opinion. That's what it sounds like.
No, but well, hey, I appreciate that you are, hanging on every word that I say. But the fact is, this is not the Barack Obama from his presidential days when he was on like the campaign trail or when he spoke at the funeral. I forgot which funeral he was at where he started singing Amazing Grace. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay, that was real, Mr. Ivey. That was in his heart. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. Based on what he said in that prepared speech at the funeral of John Lewis was strictly political, Mr. Ivey. And it's sad that the Democrat Party would hijack the funeral of a civil rights icon and make it a Democrat Party political fundraising rally. Now, granted, John Lewis probably wanted it this way, okay? Because that's what John Lewis was about. But
you stole my thunder.
The reason I called you, sir.
You stole my thunder. I was going to make that point. You're right. I mean, if that's what John Lewis was all about, then where's the criticism? Where's the blame? And what's the problem?
I'm talking about the Magic Negro here. Okay, my call is not about John Lewis. My call is about the Magic Negro and what he said in that prepared speech.
So what did he say that was so wrong?
It was the part where he was talking about some leaders are like Bull Connor or who I forgot. Oh, man, I'm forgetting his name. You know the governor of Georgia. Oh, I can't think of his name. But anyway, Barack used his name as to say that the president was using those type of tactics against peaceful protesters.
Right.
Then he got into the whole Jim Crow thing. And the first thing I thought, this man stood on stage with the Virginia governor, Mr. Blackface and KKK at the same time, Ralph Northam, and got on stage and was singing and dancing for that white racist. But see, that's why I say Barack Obama is either rusty or he's lost a step, or it just shows he's just an average speaker when he doesn't have that teleprompter. Because I would have thought, Mr. Ivey, that he was going to come from his heart, speaking about his friend John Lewis. but he stuck to that little script.
Well, just because something is written down doesn't mean it's not from the heart. That's a fallacy. That doesn't make any sense.
No, but
that doesn't make any sense,
Ivey,
Drop. That doesn't make any sense.
Mr. Ivey,
that doesn't make any sense. Sometimes people want to capture their feelings in more poetic terms or more accurate terms, so they write it down. It doesn't mean that because he's looking at a prepared statement that he cares any less or is any less from the heart. That's a stretch right there. Again, it sounds to me like you're trying real hard to find some reason to criticize Barack Obama. That's what it sounds like. All of this stuff sounds paper thin.
I'm not the only one, sir.
I'm sure Rush did. Your boy Rush and Hannity and Fox News. I'm sure they went after him too last night.
No, it was some black people that went after him too.
Oh, really? Some black voices for Trump?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you
really?
Know it. You know
who?
Mr. Ivey.
What black people went after Barack Obama?
Barack Obama's. You know good well Barack Obama's black card has expired, and he doesn't even want to get it renewed. And you know it.
That's funny.
I
don't know anything about his black card. All I know is that what you're telling me this morning seems very, very thin. Very thin to me.
Well, hey, I'm just putting it out there, sir.
Okay, I appreciate
that speech he made. It sounded like a campaign speech at a funeral, which is not above or below the desperate Democrats. Mm-hmm. And I'm listening, and I'm like, well, what happened to his motto? They go low, we stay high.
So
Barack Obama.
So you think that really would have been disrespectful to the legacy of John Lewis? You think that he should have brought the same style that he used while campaigning to the eulogy? Is that what you're saying?
Considering that's what he was reading from. And Mr. Ivey, I know you've given speeches in front of people. I don't know if you have speech writers, but if you're giving the speech, right, you write it down and you read it, but you take the notes with you to the podium. And you might glance down every now and then just to keep your place, but you pretty much got the speech in your head.
It depends.
Am I correct?
It depends.
And that's what I'm saying.
It depends on depends on when I wrote the speech and if I've memorized it. It depends.
And we all know that this funeral has been planned many, many days before. And from my eyes of 60 years and 30 of those years watching politics, it appeared to me that someone handed Barack Obama the speech as he was walking in, or when he left his house driving over to the church, because he just, and like I said, Mr. Ivey, it was either like he didn't want to read it, he didn't feel comfortable, but he knew he had to do it for his brother John Lewis, because that's what John Lewis would have wanted. And that's all. I
think you're reading way too much into this. But again, before you roll, let's listen to just a little bit of the speech together, real quick.
Yes, sir.
That the march is not over, that the race is not yet won, that we
can you hear that drop?
Reached that blessed destination.
No, I can't hear.
We are judged by
How about
the
now?
content of our character.
Now I can hear it.
He knew from his own life that progress is fragile, that we have to be vigilant against the darker currents of this country's history.
I see. I don't see it, bro. I don't see it, man. Again, I
know
mean,
you're not. I know you're not.
I think you're reading too much into it. You're trying to get too deep with the critique of his speech performance. I don't think there's anything there,
Mr. Ivey. But Mr. Ivey, you know I've been consistent with my whole thing about where is Barack Obama.
You have been.
And how is he going to be? And how is he going to be used in the 2020 campaign? Okay, so I'm consistent, sir. And the fact that you had former President Slick Willie, Bill Clinton there, you had former President George W. Bush there, but strangely, Mr. Ivey, I didn't see the 2020 presidential candidate for the Democrat Party. Joe Biden was not there. So again, just another observation of how the first black president, also known as the Magic Negro for his ability to get money from white people to give to him, to donate to the Democrat Party. This is how he's going to be used. Because if he's going to get on the campaign trail, he ain't going to be able to do it by reading speeches. He's going to have to show that passion that he showed in 2012 when his presidency, his second term was on the line, when he was out there crying and he was coming hard with his white collared shirt and his sleeves rolled up. That was the real Barack Obama. But maybe that's something of the past, but we'll see. But all I got to say, Mr. Ivey, desperate Democrats, stay woke, because the great white hope is in Barack Hussein Obama. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Where you at, Lenny?
Yeah, I think you're reading too much into it, bro. I mean, not to get all super deep and criticize your critique or anything, but I think you're reading way too much into it. That's just my take on it. Way too much into it. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't from the heart because he was reading from a piece of paper. That's ridiculous. But again, I mean, you know, you're subject to have your own opinion, and I can tell that you do. Go right ahead. 513-873-7134. Let's go to Facebook. Say Roz in the house. He writes, good morning, family. Good morning to you. Crystal writes, good morning. Hey, good morning, Crystal. Essence writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hey, good morning, Essence. Good to see you. Rebel writes, good morning, all. Hey, good morning, Rebel. Welcome. Glad you're here. See, Brenda writes, good morning. Good morning, Brenda. Jane writes, good morning. Good morning, Jane. Tanya writes, happy Friday, y'all. K.R. Mitchell writes, good morning and happy Friday, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Carmelita writes, I'm with you. Oh, well. Speaking of Herman Cain, right. Oh, well, you want to play political games about your mask, and then you get COVID-19, you get your hands amputated or your leg amputated, or you're in the hospital for 70 days and nights, or you pass away. If he dies, he dies, right? Old school Sylvester Stallone. Was that Rocky? Rocky, what's that, 2, 3? I can't remember. Help me out on that. It is what it is. I reserve my sympathy for people that deserve it. There's a lot of folks that deserve our sympathy. Herman Cain ain't one of them. Mrs. Love Being Black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful people. Good morning to you. Pat writes, good morning. Jocelyn writes, big whelp. Like, You know, if you want to put your life on the line so you can be, you know, play political games for Trump, okay, go right ahead. You want to go to the Trump rally with no mask on? Now, remember, there was a lot of red flags at that particular rally. There was a lot of people saying, don't do it. Don't do it. A lot of folks were questioning it. And the Trumpsters showed up. You had the Black Voices for Trump. What do I look like putting myself at risk for politics? Don't put my life on the line so I can curry favor with the president. I don't give a damn. It ain't happening because my life is precious to me. And that's just how I look at it. Let's go to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. It's Kevin on the cell. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Kev, on the cell. Good morning. Welcome.
Man, so dropping the repulsive Republicans. That's right. I figured it was time for me to coin a phrase. I'm tired of hearing about desperate Democrats when we've got repulsive or repugnant, you can put it either way, Republicans. I can't take it. You really had no critique. There was nothing really you could say. That's horrible. You had to make something up. Really? Come on, bro. I expect better from you. I expect Drop to come with confounding idiocy. I like it when after he speaks, I'm like, what did he say? And then I got to kind of like unwind it. And then I'm like, oh, it's still stupid, but at least it made me think, right? That was this one right here, man, that was a great speech. Prompter notes, no notes. What you said is absolutely the truth, right? You are not going in half-baked to do a eulogy. That's not the place to mess up, man. You don't play with people that have passed away from, you know, a really horrific disease that have served this country honorably, you don't mess that up. Now, for the other guy, I am not going to cast an aspersion against the guy. But I posted something similar to what you said, and a friend of mine got really upset. And I said, hey, look, don't die over dumb stuff. I'm definitely praying for you. But if you die over dumb stuff because it's your fault, come on, man. You knew you should not have. You are a millionaire. Several times over. So, Nathan, that man had a life to live. 74? That ain't even old in today's numbers. You died because you wouldn't put on a mask and went to a rally where, you know, there was 30 people in the room and they said it was going to be 3 million. He could have stayed home and watched it like everybody else did. The other 10 people that didn't show up. I don't get it, Nathan. But the former president, Barack, and I'll say it the way they say it, Hussein, that's right, a black man named Barack Hussein Obama got elected in the United States of America because that's the America I live in. Not the one where Donald Trump, or whatever his real name is, characterizes what a president should do. The one where there really is people who are saying, hey, you know what, this thing's serious. Don't take no chances. There, 150,000 people are dead, and why can't it be you? That's what I'm looking for. I want somebody to tell me why it cannot be them. What you think, bro?
I mean, I'm with you 100%. You already know. I don't get it. People walking around here ignorant, incorrigible, thick-headed, stubborn, caught up in their feelings. I don't know how you describe it, but it just seems to me that about 30% of the population is the problem. They are the problem. And this COVID-19 thing is just really just bringing it to bear right front and center, at least in my mind.
You could get a cheaper drink at home, man. You can go to any of these state liquor stores. You can go to any park, anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can stand 30 feet apart and have a drink and spend whatever time it was you was going to be in the bar. And the idea that because you closed the bar, now I don't think he's stopping people from going to the bar. He's just like, well, you can't get that drunk, so maybe you won't stumble into each other once you get drunk. I guess. I don't know.
Right.
I don't understand it.
He's saying that the bars are incubators for COVID-19. So that's what he's trying to do. He wants less people going to the bars.
Well, think about it. Now what you've done is you condense the number of people that are going into that bar. Because I can't be there till 2:30 in the morning anymore. I can only be there till 11. I'm going to get there. I used to get there, what is it? Only lanes get there by 9. I used to get there at midnight, go to 2:30. I'm going to be there at 7 now. I want to miss my shot. I don't understand, man. I don't understand any of this lunacy and drop, man. I just need you. Actually, what I really want is for you to talk your stupidity. I'm going to tell the truth. I think that you should talk your stupidity on my side of the fence because I know a lot of people on my side of the fence that think, quite honestly, as crazy as you do, and I think you could speak their language. You might be able to draw those people in and get them to go to the polls after they do register because, they register and then don't go. I'm like, what's the point of that? Why waste the time doing that? Well, I did it at the license bureau, man. They did it while I was getting my license, so, it's all good. Doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Last thing, man. Every major poll, including Fox, has 46 winning, right? Every major poll. And so I want to say this to the repugnant/repulsive Republicans. Y'all better get y'all game up. It's about time you start looking for another candidate. Who you running against the Drumps, man? Because the Drumps ain't finna take it in less than 100 days. He's not. It's over. What's the 31st?
I agree with you. There's a lot of polls that are sort of getting us the writing on the wall. But after what happened 4 years ago, I think people should run through the finish line at top speed. let's not slow down and start looking at polls and like, oh yeah, we got to run through November at top speed. Everybody got to come out and vote their conscience if you really want to see change. I hear these polls, but a part of me is kind of like, the polls got it all wrong 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, the polls didn't get it wrong 4 years ago, man. You know it didn't. You know, between the voter suppression, we know happened.
Oh yeah, right? You're right about that.
the number of people who basically decided to disenfranchise their own vote, right? And the people voting for Zorro, Jesus, and Mickey Mouse, it was no question why we lost.
Yeah, polls couldn't account for people voting for Jesus and Zorro and Mickey Mouse. That's hilarious.
And none of them was running. I'm like, okay, if Jesus is running, I'm probably picking him. I'm just gonna say, from everything I read, he was flawless. So that's the perfect candidate. That's who I want. But I don't think Jesus is running, so I don't think that's who anyone should vote for. Again, you're right. I had the track coach say it once. If you lead the entire race and stop at the end and don't cross the line,
you lost.
You look good for a long time.
But you lost, right?
And you lost. You look really good for a long time, and you lost. Yeah, look, just everybody needs to stay engaged. Everybody needs to stay focused. Don't focus on the dumb stuff. The stuff about people being enthusiastic. I'm very enthused. I've said this before. I'm super enthusiastic, man. I hope that you've had an opportunity now to start looking at the policies, the actual policies. Your boy Biden teamed up with why did I lose his name? Bernie. Teamed up with Bernie and did some coalitioning. You know what I mean? And he brought over some of the policies. He reached out to Elizabeth Warren and said, hey, let me hear what's good from your campaign that I can add to mine to make a more cohesive message that makes
Sounds smart.
sense. And if you start reading this stuff, man, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's policy. It ain't stupid talk.
From his website?
It's actual policies. It's on his website. If you search YouTube, I know you're a YouTuber. If you search on YouTube, you'll see a lot of it where he's actually explaining the policies, either in interviews or the information is definitely out there. And the choice is stark, man. It's a stark choice. You got the guy that says, well, I think I'm going to try to stop the election. You can't make this stuff up. You can't.
Yeah, he wants to move the date because of COVID-19, right? And mail-in voting. Trump is so transparently about himself 100% of the time.
Come on. That is not, like, I'm going to wrap with this, man. You know that we grew up with the folks that were slick, man. Was slicker than a can of oil. You would walk up to this dude and be like, man, I know you're doing something bad to me, but I don't know what it is. I'm going to find out probably in 6 weeks what you just did to me. You know what I'm saying? That is not this man. This man is like, I'm reaching into your pocket. I'm taking your wallet.
Mm-hmm. He's very transparent.
And your money. You gotta love it, man. Nathan Ivey Station across the nation. I'm not gonna add the shout out part because we all know who I'm talking about. If you listen, the most important thing though, engage, get out there and let's get this dude out of here. My daughter is about to be driving. I'm excited about her future. You know what I mean? And so I got her car finished for her, and I want her to drive that for 2 years and then be able in 2 years to go buy another one and send her off to college. In 3 years to send her off to college. And so I need y'all to help me to make sure we don't go into a depression or some stupid third party place, some place out there in the world. Don't try to blow us up the map because they think we're weak or stupid. It's time for this dude to go. Period. That's all, man. Enjoy your weekend, bro.
You too,
Much
man.
love and stay blessed.
Yeah, most def. That's interesting because my daughter's 15. She wants a car. She wants a car now. So my daddy, teach me how to drive. And of course, I got to teach her. I got to make sure she's ready. Carmelita writes, shucking and jiving, and a cancer survivor. That's right. All right, let me play this for you. I want to play this video for you. You'll see it. Hold on. Yeah, I want to play this for you.
I look crazy to y'all. Look at
this. You see this? What the hell? Now, apparently, that's an upcoming episode on a show called Marriage Boot Camp. You see what just happened? Let me rewind this. I want you to see this again. Check this out. So she's sitting there talking. She's talking, and that's supposed to be her boyfriend. And did you see dude over here clutching his woman? Save me! Look at this! Look at this! He ain't move. He ain't flinch. Look at this! Look at this dude! Look at this dude! Ain't make a like. What just happened? And the only man, the only man that did anything was he's one of the hosts. He's one of the host / doctors that's trying to help the couple or whatever. I don't know what this woman said. Her name is Tahiri. And if you watch reality television, she's well known. She's been on a lot of shows, loving hip hop, and had all kind of relationships with Joe Budden and others. Now she's with this new dude, and he's a rapper out of Harlem named Vado. I don't know any of his songs. If any Vado fans out there, tell me what songs he has. I don't know. I don't really need to know. But I thought this was some weak ass shit right here. What is wrong with men these days? Look at this. They just talking. And apparently he went on Twitter and said there's more to the story. Just wait. You know, when the real story comes out, people will have a better understanding of it and they'll understand. Look at dude. Dude wasn't about to move. What in the hell is wrong with men these days? Look at this. Dude, that's Corrupt right there. Corrupt got an alcohol problem, so he ain't ready to do nothing. And look at her face afterwards. It's kind of like, see, I told y'all he was crazy, y'all. What in the world? And people are pressing up on WeTV because that's the network. Now, let me tell you something about the media responsibility as somebody in the media. It's real simple. When you go to the circus, you expect to see the circus. When you turn on the news, you expect to see the news. And when you turn on WeTV, you should expect to see drama, and that's what they do. I thought it was quite interesting that like one of the teasers for the show was the violence against this woman. But, you know, thinking more about it and going to their website and looking at the history of their shows, this is what they do. It's what they sell. It's what they do on their network. They give you drama, you know, it's fights, it's men against men, it's women against women, okay? And now men against a woman. I thought as a man, I thought it was weak as hell. Here you are having a conversation with your lady, you know, your situationship, and she say something to get you so triggered, you gonna choke her up? What the hell? He wouldn't do that to another man. I don't see it happening. And then these dudes just sitting there watching like, oh, baby, hold me, baby. What it is. So I just want to know, I mean, am I wrong in that? Ladies, what would you do or what would you expect for your man to do if they're in a situation like that? Like, would you expect your man to jump up and defend this other woman? Y'all like in a multiple couple situation, and then one couple get into it, and the dude, right, the man in the couple starts choking her up physically. Would you expect your man just to sit there and be like, oh, like they were? Ooh, and ah, or would you expect your man to get up and confront and to protect that woman? 513-873-7134. I want to know what you think, ladies. I want to know what the women think, what the ladies think. Let's go to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, it's Tracy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning, Tracy.
So here's how I feel about it. I probably would expect my husband to defend that woman, but the problem that I have, and I'm going to tell you a real life story after I make this statement. The problem that I have is that when situations like this happen and the man on the outside is looking in, steps in to defend this damsel in distress, she ends up 9 times out of 10 back with dude, right? And people seriously end up getting hurt in situations like this. You know, somebody could get shot, somebody could end up with some physical injuries, and then you have this damsel that you saved back with dude talking about, well, he's not always like that. You know, he just had a bad day, and, you know, end up taking the blame herself. I had a friend who was in an abusive relationship, right? She called me screaming and hollering, come save me. Me and my girls possed up in the car, went over there, got her out of that situation. She comes out, busted lip, bleeding, crying, everything. We snatched her up, got her away. Within a week, she was back with dude. This is why I don't get involved with stuff like that, because you always end up looking like the fool, or somehow you're the bad guy because you stepped in to try and save somebody who really doesn't want to be saved. They just want the whooping to stop in that moment. So, you know, I know it sounds harsh or whatever, but the reality most of the time is you save somebody and they're back in that situation again. And I don't have no sympathy for that either, just like COVID to me. So that's my 2 cents on it.
That's very true, though. You know, it's very, very true. The courts deal with that all the time. You know, domestic violence, and a woman gets down there, she don't want to press charges. They've made up. That happens. So I feel you on that. That's real life.
Nathan, that could be why everybody was sitting there, because they've seen it before and they know that she's not going anywhere. So they're just like, well, we just gonna let this one play out and see what happens. You know, you get tired of stepping into somebody's mess who doesn't want
to be saved.
All I got to say about it.
Appreciate it. All right, take it easy. Tracy says, look, man, I kind of feel like I expect my dude to step in there, but step in for what? You step in, now it's your fault. Now you the bad guy. And I hear that. That's why stepping into people's relationships can be so messy. Because you step in trying to be a knight in shining armor, and you end up being a damn villain. You end up getting your feelings hurt, or y'all relationship suffers. I just thought it was interesting, though, that none of the dudes moved. They was all like moving backwards. And it was the host, and maybe it should have been the host, who came in and like escorted dude out. Like, man, you got to get out of here with that. And what the hell? Now, again, do I believe in fighting words? Yes, I do, man. And man, there are some things you can say to another man that will open up a can of whoop ass for you. This is what it is. Respect will be given man to man. I've seen dudes get dumped on their heads for just saying stuff. I've seen dudes get dumped on their heads for just looking. Every man is different. Man to woman, is there ever a situation when a man should put his hands on a woman? You better believe it is. Listen, if a woman is physically assaulting a man has every right to protect himself. If a woman has a weapon, if a woman spits on a man, something like that, you open the door for a can of whoop ass. It is what it is. But here you are in a situationship, a relationship. She say some fly stuff to you, you're going to choke her up. That seems to be some weak ass man stuff to me. That's just me. Okay. Maybe I'm from a different era. That seems to be out of bounds from what I saw. But let's go to the phones. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Hi, this is Mrs. Love Being Black. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome, Mrs. Love Being Black.
That's great. Thank you. To your question, would I expect my man to jump into another situation of a couple fighting? No. First of all, I'm married to a Virgo. He's going to analyze the situation himself. And if he feels like it's not a situation for him to get in, he's not going to get in regardless of what I say anyway.
Right. So, shout out to Virgos.
So there. Right. So, and you already know. And then on top of that, like, I'm with Tracy. It depends, because it's been many times. Like, I had a situation with a cousin who was outside getting her. Dude was beating her down. My other cousin came out to stop it. And, you know, he the one ended up going to jail. And by him already having papers, it caused him to have to finish out his whole time. And then before his handcuffs was cold on his body, she was back with that man.
Damn.
And never spoke up for my cousin to say anything, like he was protecting me from getting beat up and all that stuff. And he ended up getting assault charges and had to do 7 years, because that was the rest of the time on his books. All because he went to go help a cousin. You know what I'm saying? So then that got the whole family involved. Now we got to go beat up a cousin because she done got a cousin get beat up. So, it's just too much drama. So we was always taught to just stay out of it because they always turn on you. In this situation, I think, what was security? When they on the show? When that show supposed to have security every other fight, people be running, jumping in, breaking it up, causing it not to play out. So why this one play out? Because they set it up to play out. So, you know what I'm saying? And I would have just sat there because I felt like this is an opportunity now. The courts can see what you're doing to her. And now let them go ahead and press charges because they've seen it. It ain't no way that can nobody be like, he shouldn't go to jail or this or this and that. So now the courts play it out. No, we ain't getting none of that. We're going to sit back and we're going to watch. And I appreciate them hugging their woman because you know what they were saying to her at that moment? You ain't never got to worry about me doing you like this. I'm going to love on you right now. Make sure you protect it because he obviously got a vendetta against women. So I'm going to make sure he don't come over this way. So at that point, that's what I feel. I'm the only woman in the room you should be worried about. So, all right, have a good one.
Hey, you too. Take it easy. She is hilarious. She said, number one, I'm with a Virgo, and a Virgo is going to analyze the situation and do what's according. I know that's right. I am a Virgo as well. And she said that in a situation like that, I'm the only woman in the room that my man should be worried about. Do you agree with that? 513, what's your take? 513-873-7134. Again, I want to know what you think. Harlem rapper Vado grabbed Tahiri. She is, she's a television personality. She's been on a lot of different shows, not just one. I've seen her on shows over the years, many, many times. So apparently she can draw an audience. If you were just trying to call into the show, please call me back and I'll put you straight on. At this point, I'm just running one phone line and I can't put multiple lines on at this particular point. But I want to get your thoughts about it. What do you think? 513-873-7134. Does it bother you that none of the other men, right, in the little couple circle, jumped up or did anything? And does it bother you that WeTV would use that clip as a teaser? Does that bother you? And some folks might be like, see, there they go again. I was on Twitter, man, and Twitter was talking about it. Let me see where it is. Vado choking out Tahiri is already wild on his own, but using that for promo is some really, truly foul-ish. Do you agree with that? You agree with it? For me, when you go to the circus, you want to see circus entertainment. When you turn on the news, you want to see news. Okay? And when you turn on WeTV, you want to see the ratchet reality show fights. It all comes with the territory. That's the way I look at it. But let's go back to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate.
Good morning. Who am I speaking with?
So this is Rebel.
Say one more time.
Keep it clean. This is Rebel.
Hey, Rebel. Good morning to you.
Good morning. So I had to stop my son from running to my niece in Witten Terrace. You know, she ends up with these kind of men all the time. And no one should sit there and watch that happen. I think that a man just has the nature to help. They should have the nature, but but my son, he's furious. And thank God he didn't have a car because had he drove up there, he would have been fighting for my niece who continues to meet these kind of men. So you have to sever the relationship. You have to just pray for them and move on. No matter whether they're your family, your friends, whoever they are. If that woman is getting beaten, that's the only time. You've only seen it probably once, but rest and believe she's getting treated like that all the time. And someone probably has tried to step in the past, and she ended up with them. Especially if that's something that's happened in the public. That's not the first go around for them. So you just, I know that that guy ended up dead. My niece was with. He was shot. So we gotta step in. But then if that's your friend, if that's a couple, it's unfortunate, but you gotta let them go. Yeah.
So, Rebel, you're in a situation, same situation. Would you expect for your husband, boyfriend, whatever, to step in and say something if some kind of similar situation is going on in front of you?
My guys, I've been in situations like that, and every single one of them stepped up. But I can tell you this, that relationship between me and that, whether it's the guy that was my friend or the female that was my friend, there was no more going out. There's no more double dating. There's not any of that.
Right.
We need to get together because Black love and the experience of it is healthy for our community. But at the same time, we can't sit there and save a woman when it boils down. It's just, what happens when those doors are closed. Because that's what it's boiling down to. If you're allowing a man to put his hands on you and hurt you, whether it's verbal or physical, it happens in both ways. You have your self-value is in the pits, and that you need to deal with that. No person, especially a friend or family member, can help you to deal with that. That's something you have to go and seek help with, your pastor or whoever. So I've seen it happen all the time from a very young age. And, my guys step in and they hear something, she's screaming at the door. But you can't continue to step in because I'm going to step out. I'm stepping away. If I find that you have to step in every situation because now we're at one of your friends' family or someone in your circle is fighting, and you want to continue to try to take me into that environment, then I'm breaking up with you. I'm severing the relationship with you. I'm not going to disturb my peace because I'm defensive. I feel like I should help, and I don't want to be put in a situation where I should feel like I, have to help, and I don't want my man put in a situation where he feels he's going to need to help. So just sever the relationship and pray for him. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm. All right, Rebel, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Have a good Friday. It's Rebel checking in. Appreciate her. If you were trying to call in and there were several people that did, please call me back at 513-873-7134 and I'll put you straight on the line. All right. Harlem rapper Vado grabs Tahiri. And this was brought to my attention by one of my female listeners. And she's like, Nate, nobody did anything. They just kind of watched. And so it just begged the question, like, to the ladies, in a situation like that, what would you expect? What would you expect? Would you expect for your significant other, your husband, your boyfriend, your situationship, your hookup ship, whatever it's called? Would you expect for them to step in a situation like that? That's what I want to get. That's the question I want you to answer for me this morning. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. This is Donita. How are you?
Hey, Donita, welcome. Doing great. Good morning.
Someone in the comments, I watched Marriage Boot Camp, but I didn't see that episode. But someone in the comments said that she, just previous to that, was hitting him in the face with some apples. So my thing is this. If you don't want to be hit, don't hit. You understand what I'm saying? I remember when my husband and I decided we were going to get serious with each other. My father told me, keep your hands to yourself. He told my husband, my boyfriend at the time, I don't want to have to kill you, so you keep your hands to yourself. And that's basically what it's about. It's about mutual respect. If everyone keeps their hands to themselves, you won't have that. And I don't subscribe to, I get that men are stronger than women, but why should a man, because he has a Y chromosome, be hit? He shouldn't have to, take her abuse either. You got to respect each other. I don't subscribe to that. People want to say, boys shouldn't hit girls. Guess what? Girls shouldn't hit boys. So I don't teach my son that. I don't agree with that. If somebody hits you, it is what it is.
So you think that a man should react to a woman the same way he should react to a man?
A woman should react to a man the same way she reacts to a man. To another woman. If I hit another woman, she don't hit me back, correct?
She may, yeah. It's a good chance.
And so if I hit a man, I'm supposed to automatically say, don't hit me back? Why do I get to hit him? Why do I get to abuse him simply because I'm a female and he's a male? Shouldn't I respect him the same way that I want to be respected?
I understand where you're coming from. That's an interesting viewpoint coming from a woman. But I get where you're coming from. At the end of the day, I see your point. For me personally, as a man, I don't look at women the same way I look at a man. A woman is not the same physical threat to me that a man would be. So my reaction is going to be different to a woman than it would be to a man. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm willing to eat a shot of here or there from a woman than I would take from a man. I would take less from a man than I would take from a woman. That's just me as a man. I don't see them as the same, but
what I'm saying is you shouldn't have to. She should not be allowed to hit you just because she's a female.
Well,
so what you're saying is, as a female, right? I get to hit you, and you have to eat it because I'm a female, because you're physically bigger than me and you're stronger than me.
Right.
But guess what, Nate? I knew you were physically bigger than me and stronger than me when I hit you.
You're right. You're right. I'm just telling you that
So
if
she threw an
apple with him, then throw an apple back.
Well, like I said, I haven't seen the show yet. I'm gonna watch it, but I guarantee you, the way the person put it is that she threw apples, like it was more than one. So, we don't know how many apples she threw. How, you know what I'm saying? So, like you said, if I spit on a man, you're gonna get how you live. So, what if it was that she kept coming? And again, that's the thing about this reality TV. They gonna show you just a clip to get you to watch. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the way that it's edited is not necessarily the way that it happened.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
But even taking that away, I'm talking about just in men and women in general. Like you said, you wanted to know what females feel. I feel as a woman that I need to keep my hands to myself no matter who it is. Because if I want to be respected, then I have to give that same respect. Just because a person is a male doesn't mean I get to haul off and smack him and hit on him, and he has to take it. That's not respect.
True. I hear what you're saying. This man that you're looking at and listening to right now, I don't perceive women to be the same as men. And this is just me. I'm willing to take a shot or two from a lady. Depends on the scenario, because it's not the same as a man coming at me. I don't feel the same way as I would if it was a man.
Why?
Because it's not the same physical threat to me.
But the issue is, if I hit you, I'm doing that to hurt you. Now, it may not hurt you like as if a man swung on you, but my intent is to hurt you. I'm not hitting you to give you a love tap. You know what I'm saying? If we're in the middle of a fight, my intention is to hurt you. So again, I know going into that you are stronger than me and you are bigger than me.
Right.
So why would I swing on you? Why do you? I have XX chromosome. You have XY, right?
Yeah.
Why do you have to show more self-control because you have XY? So really what we're saying is women should be allowed to not have self-control, so women can't control their emotions, to be able to not get physical. No, we very well can when we want to. And we always want to say that we want to be treated equal until it comes to bad behavior. No. If I hit my husband, I should be charged with domestic violence the same way that he would be charged with domestic violence if he hits me. I am in control of my emotions. I should be in control of I should have self-control. At this age, you should have enough self-control to not put your hands on somebody. Now, if we're having a verbal argument and it gets heated, we both should have the self-control. We both should have the maturity to walk away from that situation so that it doesn't get physical. But if I get physical, he shouldn't just have to say, "Oh, baby, it's okay. You were just upset." No, I am responsible for my actions. And so to kind of give a woman a pass, really what you're saying, Nate, is you're not holding us to the same accountability. I don't get to act a fool just because I'm a female. I will be just as accountable as you.
I hear what you're saying. And there's a lot of men who feel that way. There's men out there that are super tit for tat. I think of some of these men, they say they're tit for tat when they're talking about women, but if a man did it, they really wouldn't respond the same way. I'm just being honest with you. Like, I doubted there was a dude sitting there, especially if it was a dude that had some kind of physical presence, that Vado would have acted the same way. I hear men talking all that, but I've also seen in the moment, it don't really go down like that. But I hear you. I'm just saying, for me, I don't look at women the same way as I do a man. I don't see a woman as the same threat to me as I would a man. So I would respond differently than I would if it was a man. You know what I'm saying? These are for threats. When I put these on you, it's for keeps. And it's not a game. I'm not trying to stop you. I'm trying to hurt you, right? So I reserve it for that.
But basically what you're saying, Nate, is that you're automatically saying that this female does not have the wherewithal to control herself, so you're going to control yourself. I'm saying sometimes you got to protect people from themselves. I'm saying to those that are given the greater physicality and responsibility, sometimes it's a burden. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm cut from a different cloth. Maybe it's old school, but again, I just don't see a woman as the same threat to me as a man. Does that mean I'm going to let a woman beat me up? No. But will I perceive her as a threat differently than a man? Yeah, I do. I don't see it the same way. That's just me personally. So if it was me, I probably would have walked away, especially if this is somebody who was in a situationship. I would have got up and walked away just to remove myself from the situation and the whole relationship before I get to the point where I put these on you. That's just kind of me. Yeah, and to me, that's what should happen. The first time anyone is hit, it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You already know.
Exactly.
You already know if you let it go once, it's going to happen again. So man or woman, whoever, you do need to walk away and let it go. But I guarantee you this ain't the first time that she done swung on him. It ain't the first time that he done swung on her. This is probably what, like I said, I haven't seen that episode yet, but this is probably not the first time that this has happened. So in that instance, she already knew. The last time I hit him, he hit me back. You know what I'm saying? So you already know when you're going into it. I just do not subscribe that women should be allowed to act a fool. If we want to say that women should be held to a high, and I do believe that. I don't believe you should talk to me crazy simply because I'm a woman. I believe I deserve respect because I am a woman. Because I am, weaker. Not only weaker as in a bad thing, but because I am the weaker respect, I deserve to be respected. But with that, I have to show that respect. I cannot demand to be treated as a woman and I'm acting as a little girl. Those two don't mix.
But I think
if you want to be treated as a woman, you got to act like a woman.
But see, I wonder what made Vado. I'm sorry, Denny. I don't mean to cut you. I'll go right ahead. I wonder what made him respond. Was he responding because he was trying to stop a physical threat, or did he get in his man feelings? All right. See, that's two different things. See, it's not about letting her get away with it. It's about responding to threats. I respond to threats and control my emotion. It's different. See, some of these dudes that say, yeah, if a woman hit me, they're responding to their emotions. Their feelings are hurt. They're in their man feelings. These are for threats, and I reserve it for threats. That's what I'm saying. I don't look at a woman the same as I look at a man. Now, if she got some kind of weapon or something like that, oh, now you a threat. That's different. But I'm 6'4". I mean, I ain't scared. What woman out here is going to really hurt me? So that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is for threats. Men should respond physically to threats, not your emotions. Your feelings are hurt. You on TV. She hurt your feelings. Hold your feelings, bro. Correct that and respond to threats.
The thing is, Nate, if you're 6'4", I'm 5'1.5", and don't always put my half in there because I'm short. I'm 5'1.5".
The half is important.
That half is important. What business would I have to swing on you?
None.
That's what I'm saying. You have to think about that. Like, I'm 5'1.5" and you are 6'4". Who gonna get the better end of that deal?
Probably me. I understand it, but again,
so if I don't want that to happen, what's the best way for that not to happen?
To not start anything.
Keep my hands there, and that's all I'm saying. If you want to be treated like a lady, you have to behave like a lady. Mm-hmm. You cannot behave like a little scallywag and be expected to be treated like a lady.
But the same thing as a man. The same thing with a man. If you want to be treated like a man, you got to act like a man. And what I saw wasn't manly. That was some weak ass in his feelings type of ish that I saw. Because he wasn't responding to a physical threat. He was responding to his hurt feelings. Mm-hmm. And a man shouldn't respond. A man, just like with a child, a man should not be responding physically to a woman because his feelings are hurt. That's what I'm saying.
Well, like I said, I have a 10-year-old, and I do not subscribe to the man that boys should not hit girls. I don't subscribe to that, because these little girls, even at 10, even in elementary school, they've already been taught that boys should not hit girls, and that's the problem. So see, some of them think, oh, I can hit him and he's not going to hit me back, because some of these parents have lied to these little girls and said that boys should not hit girls. So see, that's where it starts. We got to quit telling our little girls that. We got to tell them, keep your hands to yourself and respect everybody. Because I'm telling you, if you hit mine, I'm going to tell it. Now,
I've told my son something very similar. I understand that, but we're talking about children at that age. But a man should be out of his feelings and respond to threats, not his hurt feelings. You hurt my feelings, so now I want to put paws on you. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference.
You should have kept your hands to yourself. All I'm saying is, if everybody keep their hands to themselves, we won't have this issue. Now, if you're a person who has an anger issue, and that's kind of different. There's something wrong with you, but most of the time it is just you did not exercise self-control. That's what you didn't exercise that self-control, and that's what happened. So when you lose control of yourself, guess what? You get it how you get. You get it how you give it. I don't want any man to hit me. I don't hit a man. I don't want a woman to hit me, so I don't hit a woman. I keep my hands to myself.
Okay. Do you believe in fighting words? Do you believe there's things you can say to another grown person that would elicit a physical response, or somebody could say something crazy to you and make you want to put your paws on them?
Now, it's so funny that you asked me that, because I think everyone has their own triggers. You know what I mean? Like, and it's different for different people. Like for me, people get upset when, if somebody calls you a B. That does not, I will laugh at that. I will eat that all day. But the funny thing is, if you call me a stupid bee, I'm ready to fight. I don't know what it is. Don't call me stupid. That's a trigger for me. So I think everyone has their own fighting word. And unfortunately, you don't know what that person's trigger is until you run into it. And sometimes, it is what it is. But even with that being said, I'm an adult. I know that is a trigger for me. So if someone calls me a stupid bee, right, and I hate that word, I have a choice to make. I can lose control and hit this person and risk jail and losing my job and being a fool in front of my son. I can risk all of that. Or I can exercise self-control and walk away. So you have to think about, are you adult enough and are you mature enough to handle that? Because I don't know that you should, if somebody says something to you, that you should fight. You understand? I don't know that words should equate to physical violence. But you have to look at that. And again, you might catch me today and it'd be okay, but you catch me tomorrow and it might not be.
For me, Danita, it's hard for me to understand a circumstance that would have warranted what I saw in that video. He's a man, and men or women are different. They're not the same. Trying to put us on the same playing field, it's not the same. Okay. And I think he should have got up, walked away. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think he should have did. If she was throwing apples at him, throw an apple back at her, then get up and walk away, lead a scenario. You know what I'm saying? Calm down, whatever you got to. But to choke her up because she said a few things to you that you didn't like, that's weak man. That's a man getting caught in his feelings. He's embarrassed. How's she gonna disrespect me? And so now he wants to react physically to her. That's what I saw.
I hear you. And was it weak of him? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But to me, the flip side is you cannot gaslight somebody and expect for the fire not to explode. You know what I'm saying? Like, could he have chosen something different? Yes. But you cannot gaslight somebody and then try to dictate their response either. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to dictate what the response is when you get
that's
get
true.
It how you give it. And
that's true.
And unfortunately, that's, and that's why you got to look at that. And again, that's what I'm saying. It's a matter of respect, because if you respect people, you're not gonna gaslight them into that. So you can't gaslight somebody and they'll be like, oh, you overreacted. No, maybe I overreacted for what you thought, but this is how I thought to handle the situation.
Very true. I was raised that way, Donita. I was raised, don't start nothing, be cool with everybody, but your response is your response. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. If people think you went overboard, then they never should have started in the first place. So I believe in that.
And that's But I understand what you're saying. As a bigger physical person, she couldn't hit him. But at the same time, to me, she don't get a pass just because she's a female. She should be held to the same standard of accountability and respect that he is. You just because you're a female, you don't get a pass. And to me, really, I would say as a female, we should be held to a higher standard on that. Because I don't mean to be funny, but you expect, men, you cavemen. You know what I'm saying? Your natural instinct is to hunt and to kill. That's your natural instinct. Mine isn't. Mine, as a female, and I'm supposed to be the nurturer. I'm supposed to be the caregiver. So why would I throw apples at my man? That I'm supposed to be his safe place. When he can't go anywhere else to get comfort, he's supposed to be able to come to me. This is supposed to be the peaceful place. Because the world out there is hard on him, right? So if anything, he should be able to come to me, and that be that soft, peaceful place.
I agree.
So she should be held to a higher standard than him. Be the nurturer that you're supposed to be. Don't throw apples at your man.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, I've given a lot of passes because, again, these are for threats. This ain't just because you irritated me or said some dumb ish. I reserve these for threats. You're in my way. You trying to stop me from getting home. You trying to steal from me. You trying to take my life. That's what I reserve this for. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm just a little different, but I'm a very secure guy. People said a lot of dumb ish to me over there. It just bounces off. Sometimes I don't even remember it. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's not a threat, it don't really register to me. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm in a relationship with a woman that's talking super fly, then I end the relationship. I don't spend time with that. I don't have time for all of that. Go do what you gonna do. I do what I'm gonna do. Period.
But Nate, that's your maturity. You understand what I mean? And not everybody is that mature. And not everybody is able to say, you know what, this isn't going to end well, so I'm going to end it now before it goes there, because you know how you could be. But not everybody is that mature. Not everybody can say, you know what, this is beneath me as a man. Because I think that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying, right.
I think this is, that kind of reaction, that kind of physicality is beneath you as a man.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
And it should be. And it should be beneath you as a man. But it also should be beneath her as a woman to throw apples at your man.
I agree.
It should be beneath her.
Hey, Danita, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a great Friday.
Yeah, you too. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. I appreciate it. Yeah, Danita is going, she had a very strong opinion about it. I know I missed some phone calls. Please call me back. I'm running one line right now. Perhaps in the future, I could put myself in a position where I've got more than one line from my home studio, but I'm running one line right now and not able to really put people on hold per se. So, just be cognizant of that. I'm not trying to hang up on anybody or pick favorites or anything. I'm just taking the calls as they come in at 513-873-7134. So, I was trying to think, have I ever been in a situation like that? And I had one situation when I was in the 7th grade, maybe 7th, 8th grade, where I was going to, I'm not sure, middle school out of Mount Healthy, South or East or something like that. And I never forget this, we were sharing lockers. And the way that particular school was set up is that the lockers were so close to one another that when one locker closed, it would close completely the other locker that was right next to it. And I'm the new kid. I never forget this. And I'm in my locker. And right next to me, there was a girl. She was very, very pretty, by the way. I remember that. And for whatever reason, she just had an issue with me. And when I tried to I had my locker open, she came up, opened her locker and completely shut my locker. Like I was nothing. I'm like, okay, where they do this at? I'm the new guy in the school. I'm just trying to be cool. So I may have said something to her, and I opened my locker again and opened them so they were like this, right? And she slammed the locker on my hand. I'll never forget this. And my reaction was automatic, straight in her mouth. It was automatic. I'm not proud of it. But again, that was a threat. Like my hand was throbbing. I got suspended for that. I'll never forget it. And I was never at that school after that. My mother took me out. I just had a really bad experience at that particular school. That was the only situation I can remember. But man, I've saved a lot of people from themselves, men and women, over the years, because it wasn't worth it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't no threat to me, people talking fly, little things like that, nothing physical, but things that maybe other men might have went straight in the mouth over. But for me, it's just, like I said, when this is on you, you got a problem. It's not a game. I'm not joking with you. I'm not trying to shake you in a sense. I'm trying to hurt you physically. So I reserve it for that. And I'm looking at this dude putting his hands on this woman, shaking her up like, man, you got some control issues. You got some emotional issues. You know what I'm saying? And I hear you. It's some dudes I've heard say that before about how, well, if a woman do this to me, that's a weak man to me. That's a weak man trying to intellectualize why you want to use physical violence against a woman because your feelings are hurt. That's all it is. Vado, he put his hands on her because his feelings were hurt. That's why. He got into his feelings emotionally. And part of being a man is controlling your emotions. Simple as that. Now, am I saying that I'm going to let a woman do whatever I want to me? Hell no. I'm just saying that I reserve violence and physicality for those that deserve it. If I give it to you, you deserve it and you going to get it. And if you don't deserve it, I'll just walk away and keep it moving. It ain't really worth it. It ain't worth it for you. I'm going to save you from you. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. You know what I'm saying? You might look at it differently. I ain't saying I'm right. I'm just telling you my thoughts, being honest and transparent with you this morning. But again, I reserve violence for people that deserve violence. Not for people talking fly or little small things like this. I mean, that just kind of bounces off me like bullets did in the comic books on the chest of Superman. That don't really mean nothing to me whatsoever. Now, this other man, super sensitive, they'll go off in a second. But I thought that what I saw from Vado was wrong. That's just me. But what's your take on it? 513-873-7134. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hello? You might want to turn me down in the background.
Okay. I'm sorry. Hold on. Is that better?
That's much better. Good morning. Who am I speaking with?
Good morning. This is Danny Blue.
Hey, what's up, Danny? How are you?
I'm
Dope
great.
Chicks Collective. What's going on? Good morning to you.
Yes. Good morning. I just wanted to kind of talk about the topic a little bit today. I was a little upset with some things that I heard, with being CEO of Dope Chicks Collective. We do a lot of empowering things and inspirational things regarding women of our community. And I just was a little disappointed when I was listening to the young lady earlier. And it just kind of reminds me how we as Black women are the gatekeepers of bullcrap in our community. And I say that respectfully, but at the same time, I'm kind of like at a point where these pick-me's are kind of messing us up. And I refer to them as pick-me's because it's like they want to look a certain way to a certain type of man so that they're chosen, but they're not looking at it as it being a bad thing for the whole team. It's like, as long as I get picked, I don't care about the rest of you, girl. And we got to stop it. Like, the violence against women is at an all-time high. We're dying at the hands of our Black men. We are being raped at the hands of our Black men. We are, being put down every time we turn around. Like, if we have women that look like us saying that this is okay, then Black men are not going to think these things are okay. Now, I will say, I don't think it's okay for a woman to put her hands on a man. I never have liked that. I don't agree with that at all. However, I feel like even like in the Meg Thee Stallion situation, people were trying to justify Tory Lanez shooting her because she was allegedly putting her hands on him. In that case, he should have just fought back or walked away. You don't have to resort to shooting someone just because, you feel like someone is getting the best of you. And you can definitely chime in and tell me how you feel about those things that I've spoken on. But that's just kind of where I was thinking when I was listening to the previous caller.
Oh, no, I mean, your opinion is what it is. I appreciate you calling in. I mean, I said my piece on it. I mean, men and women are different. As a man, I don't respond to a woman the same way I do to a man. It's different. And what kind of man would I be? That's just me. Doesn't mean I'm gonna let a woman abuse me. I ain't gonna let a woman do whatever she want to, but I'm saying my response toward a woman is gonna be different than it is to a man. She ain't got no weapons in her hand. I'm gonna control my emotions. And what I saw was this brother got in his feelings. It was less about defense and it was more about his feelings are hurt. And a man controls his feelings above all else, like adults.
Right. As they should, and I mean, my thing is too, a man wants to be the head of the household. He wants, to lead. And one of those things you have to do is show by example. Like, if you want me to control my feelings, you have to lead by controlling yours as well. If you want me to keep my hands to myself, you have to keep your hands to yourself as well. So if we're going to go into the gender roles, like, the young lady was talking about, I'm supposed to conduct myself a certain way because I'm a woman and you're supposed to conduct yourself a certain way because you're a man. Those things also go into play as well because, like I said, if I have a partner and, he wants to be the leader, I'm going to allow him the space to lead, but he has to have the qualities of a leader. I cannot just follow behind someone, not knowing where I'm being led to or, being led down the wrong path and I know I'm being led down the wrong path. Like that doesn't work either. If you want me to respect you, you want me to show you love in certain kind of ways, those things have to be reciprocated. You can't expect all of these respect and other things or whatever, and you're not giving those things out. Yes, dude was definitely in his feelings when, he put his hands on her because he didn't like what was said or whatever. And that was another thing that bothered me. Okay, triggers, right? So we talk about words. Words can hurt. I get that. Like, we use words sometimes with the intent of hurting someone. However, words should never turn into physical violence. Like you meet somebody back with words. And why do we as women, especially Black women, accept the B word? Because that was something else that bothered me about the previous caller. She said that it didn't bother her. She could deal with that all day. Well, why doesn't that bother you? Why can't you deal with that all day? But if somebody put the word stupid in front of it, then it changes the whole dynamic of the word. To me, if you call me stupid, period, that's a problem. If you call me a B, period, that's a problem because I hold myself to a certain standard. I don't want anybody to disrespect me on any regard. You know what I mean? And at some point, I don't know where it happened. I don't know if it was the rap music that justified us being called B's and H's and all of these things, but I'm none of that. And you're going to watch your mouth when you're speaking to me, period. And I'm not going to put my hands on you, but we're going to talk about boundaries. We're going to talk about respectability. We're going to talk about those things if we're going to be in a relationship, because just as I don't want you to say and speak those things to me, I will hope that you wouldn't want me to say and speak those things to you as well. And that's just my whole thought on that.
Danny, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
No problem. You have a good one.
Yep. And she is the CEO of the Dope Chips Collective podcast being produced by Sin Digital Media. You can look for it coming up in August. I'll tell you more about it as time gets closer. Looking really, really forward to that. It's a really interesting deep dive into the contemporary lives of Black women, all the struggles, all the successes, art and more. So Dope Chicks Collective. All right, let me go back to the phones and welcome in Glenn. Good morning, Glenn. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate, man?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Hey, and for everybody out there, I've been trying to call in, Nate, for hell. It seems like the last half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
I think I might be the first male that has called in on this topic since you started it.
That's true. I was
today,
asking for the ladies, but yeah, you're more than welcome to share your thoughts, though.
Well, Nate, let me tell you, man, unless I'm missing something, you're not by yourself, Nate. I'm a Virgo. You're not alone. We grew up at a time to where we supposed to get up. Nate, I'm in a couple settings. We used to have a little couple group back in the day, in married times. And it was about, I don't know, four or five couples. And so we were sitting at Papados. I'll give you a prime example. We went to go see the movie, Why Did I Get Married? Then we went to Papados after that. And then, a friend, his wife, she had little cards, and we were answering questions like which couple was what, whatever. And one of my friends got up and started choking his wife or his girlfriend. You damn right I'm supposed to get up and be like, nah, man, that ain't cool. We supposed to be on some grown stuff. I don't know. You don't choke out a woman. Off the giddy. I'm not sitting there hesitating. And with all due respect to the sisters, I appreciate you calling me in and saying, I don't expect my man to get involved. It really ain't your choice. As a man who's supposed to be raised like a man, you're supposed to get up and break it up. Nate, you 6'4". I'm not as big as you, but you can best believe me and two of the other guys in the group are grabbing you like, Nate, this ain't the place for this. Right. They about to kick us out. Police about to come. The whole shebang. All those things running in my mind, again, off the giddy. And with all due respect, Nate, I'm with you. And women, I've heard some stuff. And believe me, Nate, we all got those friends. Apparently, everybody got that story of that disruptive couple that just fight all the time. Now, granted, for me, these people were back in my high school days. I actually have a couple of brothers, good friends of mine, who were in those type of relationships that actually have custody of the kids. Nate, they got the son. They actually have custody of one friend. He got the son and daughter, and my other friend, he has both his sons out of that relationship. So that's how sideways things went. But again, great dads. But Nate, I hear these sisters calling in and they talking about, women supposed to be treated equally. And, if I start slapping on you, my first response is to snatch your ass up and stop. But women, believe me, we are giving you a major break when we don't put our hands on you. Because the truth is, and again, this is part of being a man. You could catch these bees. What I say, Nate, these flows ready to eat for everybody. Their hands can be, but we don't want them to be. We'll show you a videotape of Aaron Pryor lecture Arguello. You don't want to take 9 straight to the dome. And we're not trying to give it to you. But our first response is to calm you down. But let me tell you, women, our natural response is to start throwing hands on you like men throw hands on men. And Nate, you absolutely right. If a man is in his feelings that much that she throwing apples, I don't know, throw an apple back. Maybe it turns into a food fight. You giggle it off and then go in the bathroom and do it or something. I don't know. But it never gets to the point where, I'm throwing Tyson blows at you. So you're not by yourself, man. A man had to call in and say, yes, it is our obligation to get up and break it up. Whether you sitting in the backyard or you sitting in, Richie's. I mean, did I miss anything, Nate? Or you think I'm
with you 100%, man. I would feel some kind of way about myself personally.
I get the young Nate at 13 years old. She slammed your hand in the locker. Even then, Nate, I even thought about, I don't know if I'm going to, you said you went in the mouth. I probably would have pushed her real hard. Like, damn, my hand thought, I get that. But grown folks. And like I said, women, God love you, and we do love you, and we really don't want to start dropping them bees on you. We really don't. So our natural inclination is to just try to de-escalate it. We de-escalate it more than the police. Think about it. And I'm too old to catch a case over you saying certain words to me. And you talking to a man that went down to a radio station to yell at a guy because he wouldn't let me on air back when I was younger, and all I did was shake his hand real hard, hoping that I can hear his knuckles crackling like a Bruce Lee movie. That was me. I was young, man. All the GW, man, I ain't got time for that, man. I got chicken kebabs to make.
I know that's right.
You know what I mean?
You see, I got chicken kebabs to make. Man, that's hilarious.
Right. Listen, man. I'm watching the NBA last night, man. It was so glad to have the NBA back, man. The NBA does it better than any other sport, Nate.
Yeah, I watched that Lakers game myself.
It looked like the Olympics. It looked like the Olympics.
It did.
You know, with how the president right there. Yeah, the ball was strong. I mean, I'm telling you, after what that weekend in which LeBron beat Milwaukee and the Clippers in the same weekend, Nate, he big boyed him. He big boyed Giannis. Remember when he had those back-to-back where he just, he big boyed him. And then he did the same thing to Kawhi. And it reminded me of that game against the Golden State when LeBron was just blocking Steph Curry stuff, and he was just like, man, I'm just going to play you like a little dude now. And I think they got that mentality. LeBron, if LeBron going through, you're like, okay, Kawhi, I know you're nice. You got the sweetest, step-back jumper going on right now. But still, when I'm coming down the lane, you don't want no part of it. So I love it, man. But, yeah. Nate, tell me this. Did you watch any of the Pelicans games last night?
I didn't. I saw maybe 2 or 3 minutes on YouTube afterward. YouTube does a great job of it.
Alvin Gentry plays Zion Wilson 15 minutes. I think he had like 13 points in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Doesn't play him down the stretch.
Why not?
Ingram is still garbage. They on a minutes restriction, but man, they trying to play. You got to get in the 8th spot to beat out Memphis and John Morant. Lonzo Ball still does not have a short jumper game. I mean, back when I was playing NBA 2K, short jumper games was the best thing going on.
Yes, it was. I like Lonzo Ball though. I think he's going to be. I think he's got championship, DNA in him. I think he can be a winner.
He's a great defensive
on a winning
player.
team.
He can see the floor unlike any other player. So he's got to be he's in the top 5, top 10 as far as vision as a point guard. He just has that knack. You can see it in him. Plays great. He can't shoot.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player.
He can't shoot, man.
That's just confidence. I mean, he can build his confidence over the years.
He needs the confidence of his daddy. I mean, LeVar Ball will be talking that stuff. He'll talk his jumper into existence.
He sure will. Yeah, but, that's funny. He talked him into the first pick, right? What was it, second pick?
Right. And they say his LaMelo, he might be.
He's going to be number 1. Third pick. He was third pick to the Lakers. LaMelo's going to be number 1 in the draft this year.
You think so? I think they might try to get some like big European.
Nah, it's going to be LaMelo. He's the only name I keep hearing.
Remind you of Doncic of Dallas, who's sweet. That boy can play. He got swag too. That's what I like about him. He got that Larry Bird on. He's like, when Larry Bird said it was an insult when they put a white player on him, they tell you something about him. Larry Bird's like, I'm too sweet for white boys.
Hey, Glenn, thanks for the call, man.
Hey, you have a good one. Hey, have a great weekend, man.
You too,
but I had
brother.
to get that in there for the fellas, man.
I appreciate it.
And we Virgos. I mean, really, man. We got to step up. What did your girl say? Rihanna, pull up? That's what we got to do. Pull up, man, in those situations. You have a good one, man.
You too, man. Take it easy. I ain't mad at it. Virgos. It's Virgo season. Let me go back to this. This is Anissa. Anissa writes, you don't have to have sympathy for Kane, but why mock him for his bad choices? ? We all make bad choices. The man is dead. We all can see the bad choice he made. So why keep harping on it and laughing? His family is suffering. Geez, no compassion or sympathy for his family? No respect for them at least? A lot of people believe COVID is a conspiracy. This country is full of lies. We can't keep being so judgmental. It's just not the time. The world is already too messed up. We all need to show love and compassion, even if someone does make a mistake. I feel you on that. And we all have different feelings about it, Anissa, because I made the point earlier that I have no sympathy for Herman Cain or any other COVID-19 deniers that want to play political games with their life. You know what I'm saying? Like Ivan Drago, if he dies, he dies. If she dies, she dies. More clean air and water for the rest of us. And you can add people that like to run on rooftops. Like you, Spider-Man, you want to run on the rooftop on YouTube. When you slip and fall, hope you got insurance. You want to play with fireworks and play in traffic? It's your business. I reserve my sympathy and compassion for the people that deserve it. And Herman Cain was trying to seduce black people into doing the same dumb thing he was doing. Black voters for Trump. Okay, well, now you got COVID-19. And whatever happens, happens. You know what I'm saying? It's not a laughing matter, but sometimes nothing is funnier than the truth. It is what it is. I reserve my compassion for those that deserve it. and he don't deserve it. It is what it is. Monica writes, ending of sale of alcohol at 10 p.m. I passed by Brandy's and it was full. The parking lot was lit and the line was at the door and the patio was overflowing. Like you, if you COVID-19, that's your fault for lack of personal control. Adults are responsible for their actions and care about the safety of others. Yeah, it starts tonight. It starts tonight, Monica, in the state of... Well, it may start tonight. They had a big meeting. Let me see here. Had a big meeting today at 9 a.m. So let me double check and see if there's any movement in that. Let me see. He wants to limit Ohio sales because we're setting records in terms of COVID-19 infections. And again, all these drinkers, you want to get your drink on at home. Get your drink, go back home. Invite your friends over. Keebler's in the house. He writes, American narcissism. Could be, I'm not sure. Let me see. Danita writes, the power is at the ballot box. Don't believe that the next person's vote will get it done. We have to vote. I agree. Angela writes, Tricky want to delay the vote because of COVID, but want to send our babies to school. How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. I'm inside the chop shop now on Spreaker. Majestic writes, August, the hottest month of the year, a.k.a. unfit suburb working mothers leave their infant children in hot-ass cars. Don't talk that up, Majestic. It happens every August. Every August and September, as he said, the hottest day of the year, all of a sudden, white people start forgetting their babies in cars, in hot cars. Oh, I worked so hard. I just was worried about getting to work and I forgot that I didn't drop my newborn off. In fact, my baby was strapped in the back of a hot car for 8 hours. Oops, my bad. And then Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters will have sympathy for them. So you can leave your baby in a hot car and get no charges whatsoever when the baby dies. What a terrible, grisly death. But if you know where I'm going, if you post a video on YouTube or on social media saying F coronavirus because you having a party, they want to charge you with a felony. Welcome to our reality here in Hamilton County. I'll never understand it. Like that literally happened. A woman, white female, was so busy with her day. Her day was so busy that she forgot and left her baby in the back of a car and the baby died. No charges. But if you post a video saying F the coronavirus, F the governor, and he's a white cracker, they want to give you a felony. Does that make any sense at all, ladies and gentlemen? I don't even know what justice is in this county anymore. I have no idea. We need a better Hamilton County prosecutor, and you have an opportunity coming up this year. We'll see what happens. Cassandra writes, that's tricky because naturally you never want to see a man hitting a woman no matter what she did is not okay. And the flip side, playing devil's advocate, like you said, some women think that's love. They have normalized this behavior and they aren't going to leave. What if her abusive man had a gun and decided he was going to shoot somebody who dares interfere in hitting his woman? Why do I want my man to risk his life playing Captain Save-A-Ho when she's not going to leave? Damn, Captain Save-A-Ho? Oh, that's Cassandra, a.k.a. Queen of Cyber Wakanda. Good morning. Angela writes salutations. Miss Tiffany writes morning all. Looks like a more bourgeois version of the Rashawn Davis F coronavirus. Klumazic writes, the crazy thing is that the other blacks for Trump who were in the attendance with Herman Cain still vote for the cheetah. Oh, yeah. Because they were doing that to curry favor with Donald Trump. That's why I have no sympathy for Herman Cain. He was doing that to curry favor with Trump. Like, hey, Mr. President, you see me on TV? I wasn't wearing a mask. We were dancing. We were dancing for you. Did you see us? Did you see us? Okay, well, it comes with a price. Brian writes, good morning. Ben writes, I'm the same way, Nate. I wish more of these idiots would die. Now, I don't wish anybody would die. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that if you're a COVID-19 denier and you're politicizing your life, like you're willing to put your life on the line for politics, then if you end up losing your life, I ain't shed no tears for you. Let it serve as a message for the rest of the COVID-19 deniers that COVID-19 is real. Simple as that. Tanika writes, good morning, Nana Chuppers. Good morning. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Mike Jones, Tracy writes, I don't watch reality TV, period. Really? I'm not against it. I don't really have a lot of time to watch TV, period. And I don't have cable anymore. So I see clips here and there on YouTube and maybe on social media, but I'm not really watching anything consistently anymore. I used to be really into my shows, but you know, it's a different season. It's a different time. Let me see. Fox, right? We are gathered here today. Play that Richard Pryor. That's hilarious. Black is black under the system of racism and white supremacy. Mason Muller writes, so Drop has never seen a speaker before without using a teleprompter. WTF? Yeah, I think Drop was out there. He was just searching for a way to criticize the president, the ex-president, or the former president. Let me see. Success built on vision is in the house. What's up, Success? Maybe it was more of an emotional speech than political. Well, of course it was, man. I'm with you on that. That's what Drop didn't get. It was more of an emotional, friendly. This was somebody I knew and respected who passed away. You can't compare that to campaign speeches when the man was running for president. Of course they're going to be different. We want them to be different. Drop, but your racist president too arrogant to show up and show respects. Come on, man. Tracy writes, he's allowed to be rusty after sitting on his ass for 3 years. Aren't you rusty after retirement? Go walk back to the post office and do your job. Let's see how rusty you are. Oh boy. A lot of folks responding to Drop. Drop, you reaching for something you'll never be able to grab. That's success built on vision. Drop is super stretching like Stretch Armstrong. It felt good to see my president again. Again, I only saw clips, like small clips of the eulogy, and really heard them on the radio. I was in the car listening to NPR. So no, I didn't pick up on anything negative whatsoever. I mean, I didn't think anything of it, but Republican media, Republican talking heads, they're going to make something out of everything Barack Obama does just because that's what they do. Iris Rowley writes, federal judge, obvious differences in investigation into McGuffey versus other deputies. This is written by Kevin Grasha, who wrote the absolute roast article I've seen in recent history in the Cincinnati Enquirer as it related to Bruce Hoffbauer. I'll say it again. It was like Bruce Hoffbauer was doing a Vulcan mind meld with Kevin Grasha and was controlling his fingers as he was typing the article. It was terrible journalism. Terrible. But anyway, he wrote this piece. I did see this. I'm glad she brought this up. Yeah, because they're trying to make a big, again, I'm not defending anybody. I'm about putting the facts out there. And I'm glad that Charmaine McGuffey had the courage to come on this show and she answer all the questions and is willing to come back on again before the election and answer all the questions, right? Whether it be difficult or a gotcha question or whatever else. But yeah, Kevin Grasha wrote a piece in which he gave the other side of the so-called, or really an update, because a judge said that Charmaine McGuffey's lawsuit can move forward against her former employer. And it looks as if, you know, she had cause to do so. Let me read this. The investigation that led to Charmaine McGuffey's firing showed obvious differences compared to others conducted by the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office and may have pretextual intended to justify demoting her, a federal judge said in advancing McGuffey's lawsuit to trial. It's interesting. Let me see. In a ruling Thursday, U.S. District Judge Susan DeLotte pointed out that several other investigations by the Sheriff's Office into hostile work environment complaints were less than 5 pages. The investigation into McGuffey spans a massive 108 pages. DeLotte said in a sharp contrast to the internal affairs investigations of heterosexuals and males. IA sought out and questioned numerous people who never filed a complaint against McGuffey, DeLotte said. The obvious difference in the way these investigations were conducted raised genuine issues of material fact as to pretext. So remember when Charmaine McGuffey said that the reason why this happened to her is because she was standing up against brutality, because of her sexuality and some other issues, speaking out. And because of it, this is what happens. And just reading between the lines, and not even really reading between the lines it's not that too many lines you got to read between. It's just what was actually said by the judge. It seems that the judge agreed with that, and now that lawsuit is going to move forward. I know that Bruce Hofcoward and his Republican minions are on social media trying to make a big deal about it. I think he should spend more time explaining himself to the black community why he killed an unarmed man back in the 90s and why we should trust his judgment. But I think it's very, very interesting. Again, transparency and accountability means everything. It means everything. And for me, I'm looking for people who are willing to be held accountable and people who are willing to be transparent and not play games. And again, voters will have to make their own decision. Thank you for sharing that, Sister Iris. I appreciate it. I almost forgot. Very interesting. Keep your eyes on that case because we got to make a decision in November. We got to make the best decision in November. Sab1 writes, great flows, bro. We must focus on local election races and also keep spitting facts all day, every day. All day, every day. TNT writes, we are well past the need to shut completely down without national leadership to intelligently guide us through this pandemic. We will just have to brace for more death until there is a vaccine. The virus will not stop spreading without considerable time to complete separation. Let me flash forward here. I want to flash forward. Charles Martin writes, Virgos are God's gift, but go on. Absolutely. Hashtag Dope Chicks Collective. Listen, this is going to be like a reboot in August, bringing back the Dope Chicks Collective podcast and a live stream element to it so you can interact in real time with the audience. I'm looking forward to it. Us, Danita, she called in and told us that. Appreciate it. TNT writes, in that moment, no one should sit and watch someone getting harmed. Flat out. What the host did was simply restrain him. I mean, I've been in situations where I've seen two dudes get into it and men will go try to break it up. So why wouldn't you do when you see a man get into it with a woman? I don't get it. Let me see. Ron writes, maybe it was staged. Could be. What are we at, 10:34? I got to make a move, family. I wish I could talk with you all day long, but I cannot. I got to end the show right there and move on with the rest of the day. I'll be back and better than ever with you on Monday morning. And check it. If you don't know, I'm doing something different on the Nathan Ivey Show page on Facebook. It's called Mystery History. All right. You get a chance to win cash and also learn something about history as well. So if you're interested, go over to my page and you can play and possibly win $25 cash. Again, I'll be announcing the winner and also who is the mystery history person for the very first one on Monday at 9:05 a.m. Also, check this, fam. We're going to get a chance to speak with Jason Dunn on Monday during the 9 a.m. hour as well. And Jason Dunn was with the Cincinnati Visitors Bureau, and he's been making some headlines, most recently talking about equity and diversity in that industry. So he says he wants to come on, and I want to talk with him first. That'll be Monday morning. That should be a very interesting conversation that if you live in the Cincinnati area in particular will impact you. A lot of folks know Jason Dunn. You know, he's a stand-up brother that cares about the community and fights hard for, as I said, equity and inclusion and diversity. So it'll be very interesting to check out with him as well. So that's going to be on Monday. But again, this morning, you can go over to my Facebook page, the official Facebook page for the Nathan Ivey Show, the Nathan Ivey Show, and play Mystery History. Listen to the clip and tell me who the voice is. That's it. But if you want to be registered to win, you have to tell me the correct name of the voice, who that person is, but also share it as well. If you do both things, if you get the question right and you share it, that'll automatically register you to win $25. Let me pay for your lunch next week. And all I ask is that you share and give the correct answer, and I'll Cash App you or PayPal you, whatever you use. And we'll move on. I already got the next mystery history person already. I think it's going to be more difficult. People said that was too easy. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. You have to decide for yourself. But the next one will be, let's say, a little bit more of a mystery. All right. So that's mystery history. You can go to the Nathan Ivey Show page and play today. I'm taking the first 30 people that respond correctly with the correct answer and also share. It's very, very simple. Hey, listen, thanks for the conversation. I'll be back with you, as I said, Monday morning. Until then, take care of yourself, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
This is Zoe Wesson. What side of history do you want to be on? The right side, or one where black people continue to be underrepresented in Hamilton County? Now's your chance to end 230 years of exclusion. In Charlie Winburn, we have a man that's received the Cincinnati NAACP President's Award, who fought on the Ohio Civil Rights Commission for 6 years, who received the Baptist Ministers Conference Community Service Award. Charlie Winburn has received the Southern Christian Leadership Conference Award and was honored by WDBZ The Buzz as Pastor of the Month. We know Charlie Winburn, and he knows us. He's the right man to put us on the right side of history. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, November the 3rd, paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
Hello, I'm Charlie Winburn with Renew Community Church. It seems like the coronavirus came from nowhere. I have some good news, that if you never quit and don't give up, out of nowhere, the way will be made for you and your family. Take your life back. Join Renew Community Church each Sunday, 11:45 a.m. on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CincyRenew. Rewrite your life while at home. Join Renew Community Church for the 12-week Rewrite.me series each Sunday on Facebook Live. Renew your life at home. Go to SundayConnectCircle.org for a free 12-week, 200-page PDF. Take your power back. Rewrite your life. Join Renew Community Church each Sunday at 11:45 a.m. on Facebook Live, facebook.com/CINCI Renew. I am Charlie Winburn, and remember, out of nowhere, the way will be made for you and your family.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.